members of the Kansas City Chiefs have maybe 2 or 3 Chiefs players speaking around 11. We will carry that live for you here on your home for the Chiefs, 96.5 The Fan. Video stream up and running. YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. And, of course, the Jay Southland Tow Service text line wide open, 913-586-7965. But we start with the Royals shining internationally. Well, this was just home run number 3 from one Vinny Pasquantino last night.
That one, I'm not sure if he got it all. Let's see. It's deep. It is gone! He's hit 3!
No hits. We were talking about it yesterday. Not a single hit. 0 for 12. And then he goes and has 3 home runs. He can only hit home runs in the WBC.
Apparently. And look, again, people were talking about the kind of like leader he was, and he was still clearly like Italy's captain and all the other stuff. He just now had the offensive performance to go with the rest of it. And did the U.S. a favor in addition to it. He just looks like somebody having an awesome time. I don't know how else to put it besides that. He looks like somebody having an awesome time playing in a, higher stakes than normal baseball game, even though it's March. And I think he even openly joked about that, like in a postgame. Like, I know it's March, and it sounds weird, but he was sounding emotional because it felt like a big deal. But that was like Vinny's, I don't know if it was like his breakout moment, because I do think that people know Vinny somewhat nationally. I was asking Vern about that yesterday. But if you didn't know who Vinny Pasquantino was before, you certainly,
they definitely know
baseball fan, you know now.
They definitely know he plays for the Kansas City Royals, and that part was cool about last night. Is Caglione, the night before hits the home run. I know it was against the U.S., but hits the home run, and so you've had, and then Bobby Wood Jr. having the special game that he had a couple days ago with the stolen base and the double and the 2 great defensive plays. Some of the big moments, other than maybe what the Dominican Republic is doing, which is insane right now, they're cruising. Yeah. Other than that country, the other biggest stories in terms of players and accomplishment and what they're doing have involved Royals players, and that part of it's kind of cool. We don't have to get back into how meaningful the WBC is, but in terms
a Kansas
of
City perspective,
for a Royals fan and seeing the notoriety that the Royals are getting, and it makes you probably a bit more excited for the 2026 Royals. We asked Vern yesterday, were you worried that he was 0 for 12? And he said no. So I don't want to act like today that now we should think he's going to go hit 60 home runs. But at the same time,
problem solved.
At the same time, It's very exciting to see 3 homers from Vinny, Cags hitting the big homer the other day, and then Bobby it's expected, but still, to see what he's capable of. And now the U.S. will play Canada tomorrow. So just like hockey, the U.S. gets Canada. I did not return it. I will wear the USA hoodie tomorrow. Dang it. I will wear that tomorrow on the show.
I think that feels appropriate for the USA-Canada match in that situation. But, look, again, I don't want to say that it changes a little bit, but if you watch what the Royals are doing, so Saturday, it will be Seth Lugo on the mound
for
against
Puerto Rico,
Vinny Pasquantino and Jack Caglione. It will be, like you mentioned, USA versus Canada again. And these are the quarters by, I think it's Tuesdays, the championship game. Semis are Sunday and Monday, championship game.
So this is about to wrap up.
Yeah, all the pool play, that was the meat and potatoes.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday, quarterfinals. Sunday, Monday, semifinals. Tuesday, championship. Go back to your respective teams. So, gotcha. All of this is about to speed run to the end, and we'll see the finish line, I guess, as it were. But in a way, because of what Bobby has done, Vinny just did, the profile, I'm pretty sure Vinny's going to be on, multiple national shows today.
Mm-hmm.
When you start thinking about that kind of profile, I think it adds an extra layer of anticipation and expectation for the team that we were already talking about. Because look, Gold, they're doing it. They're the best players in the world, right? They are competing at that level, having massive moments, showing up in big-time moments. It also makes me want for Vinny to get to play in more and Bobby to get to play in more playoff games so I can see them have more moments like that 2015 Royals team got or had a chance to do. This is the best team they've had in the Bobby Witt Jr. era. And so I do continue to put those expectations. I mean, from the side, it was just fun watching Vinny.
Yeah, and this was him in postgame yesterday on FS1.
Hello, so Vinny, Francisco Cervelli said that this was your team and all the credit is for you. So tell me something about that.
I'm weirdly emotional tonight to the point that I'm thinking about crying, which is funny for a tournament in March. But This has been. Yeah, there's a lot of backstory to this of how this team came about and how we picked certain guys and how certain guys aren't playing. There's different reasons to play and to not play. A lot of guys trying to make teams, and there's a lot of really special individuals that are trying to make teams right now that chose to come represent the country of Italy in this tournament. And I'm just honored that Francisco, and Ned and Marco and Jorge, and I can just name all the coaches. And I'm so thankful for those guys for allowing me to be myself and to lead this team the way that, I've kind of seen from a player perspective.
And his personality probably is perfect for this kind of tournament anyway.
Of course,
you need to find ways to motivate and get the guys excited when it's not MLB baseball, it's not the playoffs, it's not the Olympics. But
for some of these guys, it is, because some of them are not as big of a player as Vinny.
Right, but I just mean that his personality, in terms of having fun and like caring and all that he makes that very easy, I think, for anybody that's on a team with him. And anybody in the Royals organization is not surprised whatsoever by what they're seeing from Vinny in terms of his personality. And by the way, like not that he doesn't show with the Royals. I hope, just kind of like what you said about Cags yesterday and how Vern was saying that, Jack Caglione, the way he threw that bat and certainly the showmanship, if you will, of the home run that he had, we haven't seen that since his Florida days. So hopefully that is the trickle down effect and carries over to the Royals in momentum to where they don't have a slow start to the month of April. That the energy that hopefully we'll see how the WBC ends up, but it could be Italy, USA again. We'll see. But you get
they wouldn't face each other until the championship,
which would be awesome. But for Bobby and I know Michael and Salvi are also playing for Venezuela, but specifically the headliners to this point have been Bobby, Vinny, Cags. That energy, that momentum, that desire to win big games, to be in these big moments again. You would like to think that taste, and while they've been in the playoffs before, that hopefully brings some new energy heading into the start of the season with the clubhouse with the Royals.
Vinny saying he was beamed up and you're welcome USA and all that other stuff. This goes back to like something we talked about when we were talking about an extension for Vinny. And look, he ended up getting like a couple of arbitration years bought out. Not really an extension, but a little bit of financial security from the Royals. I had said it at the time, and it only feels more that way now as I watch him like he is the definitive, like, put on the throne leader of Team Italy, right? He's the person in charge of the espresso shots, which the Royals should obviously take advantage of. I don't even care. Maybe Vinny should make Sabrina Carpenter's song his walk-up song and really lean in. But I had said at the time, I think the one thing that the Royals might have been missing in not paying Vinny at the time, before they had given him at least some security, was Bobby's definitively the best player. He's one of the best players on the planet. Nobody's ever arguing that. My thing has always been that Vinny has been the emotional leader of the team. And like when I watch him with Italy, I'm like, it's only reinforced to me that he is the charismatic leader of the squad. Bobby's the leader by example. He's the best player. People will follow him into battle because he's a superhero. He's Superman,
for
right?
sure.
But like Vinny has always been this like charismatic guy to help bring people along with him. And Italy has been like a really key example of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would just say like the contract part of it, it wasn't as if they were about to let him walk out the door.
No, they weren't.
I mean, that was never going to happen. But I think what you're kind of saying is you want to keep that guy happy, and why even ruffle some feathers kind of thing. And they did. They worked something out, and he got a little bit of bump in pay. And now you head into a 2-year stretch where he has a chance still long term to earn himself a lot of money if he has the type of season I think he is capable of having. So pretty cool to see once again the Royals front and center during the World Baseball Classic. Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll talk more about Kenneth Walker, who we are expected to hear from at 11 o'clock, but what his salary is, his contract is, and compared to what we're seeing from some of these wide receivers, the quality of wide receiver that is out there. The one thing I wonder, as we talk about what has occurred to this point in time, and the Chiefs have gone out and signed the top available running back. They've gone out and signed maybe one of the top available nose tackles in free agency. They went out, of course, and got a safety in Gilman from the Ravens. To this point, other than bringing back Tyquan Thornton, they have not signed another receiver. And Juwan Jennings, here we are another day, I'm mentioning his name. He is still out there. The longer he stays out there, the more likely I actually think he could come to Kansas City, only because the dollar amount might go down, even if it's somewhat unlikely. I want to ask you, if the Chiefs don't sign another wide receiver by the end of this week, today's Thursday, so we're not far away, do you think that shows that the Chiefs actually think Rashee Rice is either A, not getting suspended at all, or it's going to be such a small chunk of the season. I'm going to take it that way, that if they don't sign somebody in the next week, that they feel like, you know what? No, we think that Rice maybe doesn't have a suspension looming or a large suspension looming. Because outside of the civil lawsuit that was filed, from that day since, Cody, there's been nothing. The NFL hasn't said anything. The Chiefs had their generic statement. They haven't addressed it. There's nothing really to address, I guess, at this point in time. The NFL, maybe this summer we find out something. It's gone quiet. And so while I get it, they could still spend the 9th overall pick on a wide receiver, and they very well could. If they don't sign another mid-tier type of wide receiver that's not just some fifth, your fifth or sixth receiver that you would project as that, or someone to compete in camp, it tells me I think they're confident that maybe Rice would be available.
Or they're confident they're going to take one at 9.
Yeah.
Like, or 29.
You got what I had, man. You getting the sinus infection or something?
I don't think I got a sinus infection, just a little congested. But so when you look at it, I feel fine otherwise. But so when you look at what they've been at this point, couldn't it just mean that they're taking one at 9 or 29? Couldn't it just mean that they're going that route? Because I'll tell you right now, I will be very critical of them.
They might need both, though.
If they do
I was
not,
gonna say they might do both of them.
But if they don't sign another wide receiver, and then Rashee Rice loses half or more of the season, I'll be like, what the hell were you thinking? If I can see it coming, because I think there's a good chance that I still think there's like a 50-50 chance Rashee Rice loses the season. Like, I don't know why that's out of the question. He'll be a two-time offender of the personal conduct policy, and this time they won't necessarily have to wait out the legal process the same way, because they sometimes in multiple cases they handle it differently. So it's like, if you don't have a plan, well, then that's your fault. Have a plan. So, like, in a way, Gold, I agree that if they don't do it, then it might mean to me that they think that they're relatively safe in the Rice situation.
Unless you want to draft a wide receiver at 9 and then draft another one at 40, like that.
And they could, and there's an argument that they should do that anyway. I mean, depending on how they address defensive line. I mean,
knowing they don't play rookie, like the offense adjusting to that, because it evidently is it is a real thing.
Yeah, I think, depending on how you want to look at it, it is, in a weird way, I want them to sign another receiver, but oddly enough, you could also view it as a good thing in terms of Rice's availability. If they don't, they've got more information than we do. They have a better sense of what the NFL may or not be looking at doing. So keep that in mind. Like, we all have our opinion on what should happen, the potential consequences, and it is absolutely on the table that he gets suspended. Anybody saying it's not on the table, that's inaccurate. What we don't know is how likely it is, and also, is it for sure, if he even gets suspended, is it just another 4 or 6 game thing, or is it the season? Is the NFL pushing for 10 or 12 games? I think you said 50-50. That's probably fair. I would say at this point, because it's gotten so quiet, I think it's less than 50% that he gets suspended
because we haven't heard anything in a couple of months. I mean, they also don't
month, I guess.
A month. They don't really like drawing distractions, in fairness, to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. And now free agency's kicked in, so maybe things have gotten a little bit quiet. I thought they would have signed a wide receiver and a defensive lineman by now. As a matter of fact, I'd be kind of surprised if we get through the next couple of days and they don't add somebody at defensive end and somebody at wide receiver. Maybe on the smaller end to start. And to your point, you'd said this before, maybe Juwan Jennings' number is lower. It's Thursday. I didn't think we'd wait 4 days for him to get a contract. But what are the other choices available? Of the could be, let's say, code number 1, is in, like, truthfully a 2, but like you could make do while Rashee Rice was out. Jennings is the only guy left who even fits that mold, isn't he? Everyone else is a tier below him at this point. Some of this might also be the confidence they have in Xavier Worthy. Maybe they think that O'Shea and a new year and a healthy year for Xavier Worthy and another offseason.
Kelsey coming back probably
he could take
also
the leap forward. Yeah.
Kelsey coming back probably also changed. I mean, if I told you Kelsey was retiring instead of coming back,
I think they would have already signed a wide receiver.
I think you'd have to. The name you were asking, just the names that are left. I'm not telling you I want these. I'm just listing them off. Tyreek Hill, we've already discussed that whole scenario. Stephon Diggs, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, I believe, is still available. Darnell Mooney, Ayuk, Hollywood Brown. Did I mention Tutu Atwell, DeAndre Hopkins, Greg Dortch, Noah Brown, Keenan Allen, Jahan Dotson? These are some of the names. I'm not interested in most of them, but those are some of the names that are available to keep an eye on. But here's the thing. If they signed I'm just throwing out a random name. If they signed a Tim Patrick Right, he's like your fifth or sixth guy. I'm talking about, as you were saying, like who could come in and be your number 2 or 3 if you had to right away without drafting a rookie. Juwan Jennings is one of the only people left on the market that you would think, oh, he might be your number 2 or 3 option if Rice is out. I mean, Deebo Samuel, he was mixed bag last year for San Francisco or for the Commanders. I'm sorry.
But he would still be an upgrade.
Would you be interested in Deebo if I told you Juwan Jennings was off the board and we're here a week from now? He's 30 years old.
Yeah, probably.
Contract, admittedly, I don't know what the contract would look like.
He's the same type of player as Xavier Worthy, but he's just bigger.
They could line him up.
The exact same.
What's intriguing about him is they could line him up in the backfield as well, and so you could have some packages.
But don't they already do that with Xavier? They already do that with Xavier.
But it's the size. It's the size aspect. Deebo Samuel can take some hits. Xavier Worthy is a.
If you bring Deebo Samuel in, that makes me think that they don't believe in Xavier Worthy as much. Actually, I think that would be just a telltale sign, as they are the exact same type of player.
Are they?
I don't know if at this stage of his career if I agree with that.
Other than Deebo's 30 pounds heavier.
I mean that does at least stylistically.
Because in terms of running guys in motion, in terms of putting them in the backfield, in terms of quick screens, in terms of drags, he's Xavier Worthy.
Look, I understand that age and all this other stuff plays a factor here, but this is where I just get confused. In the same offense, 2 years they played in the same offense in San Francisco. Deebo Samuel was just as effective as Juwan Jennings. Last year in different offenses, they were about the same player. They had 7. Actually, Deebo Samuel had more yards and more touchdowns. So, like, why couldn't he work in the offense if Juwan Jennings is a potential?
If you're
target?
saying
I'm not saying he wouldn't work.
You're saying
you're replacing a player with the same type of player.
If you're saying he's a little more gadgety and that is the closest thing to that is Worthy, I would agree with that. I think because of his size, he gives you a few more opportunities. Now, he's older now. He's another year older. If you're wondering the exact numbers,
not young. He's 29.
Deebo actually had. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, again, I want Juwan Jennings. We're talking about other guys. I would rather have Juwan Jennings. I'm just saying these are other names that are available. Deebo Samuel, 72 passes for 727 yards and 6 touchdowns last year is what Deebo had.
Yeah, and to me, that's if you were looking in the market, that's exactly what you should be looking for if you're worried about Rashee Rice getting suspended. Because then, yeah, sure, there's no true number one unless you take one at 9 or 29 or 40 and they develop quickly. But you got a bunch of guys you can throw the ball to in Worthy, Kelsey, and Deebo, all guys who operate as like co-number 2s together, and it's deeper. It's not top heavy, but it's deeper than it has been, and you have a little operational functionality that I think works different than what they currently possess.
Now, Spot Track doesn't mean they're 100% accurate. Their projection, now the longer he stays out there, it changes. They project market value $15.8 million
for Deebo.
Yeah,
and what 20 for Juwan Jennings?
He's second just behind Juwan. Yeah, Juwan Jennings is 19 point something.
Yeah. And like, so again, price, it's like for the price difference, if they're closer, I'd rather have Jennings. But if let's say that both those numbers, let's say Juwan Jennings' number is still 20 million, but Deebo's actually available for 12. Well, for 12, I'd probably rather have Deebo. Like, and that's just like, I'd rather save the $8 million this time around because the truth is,
he just would intrigue
in free agency, I'm not trying to solve my wide receiver problem permanently. If I'm doing that, I'm trying to trade for Brian Thomas and draft a guy. This is a stopgap here for me at wide receiver.
Yeah, he just would intrigue me because, frankly, of his size at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if Kenneth Walker is going to be your number 1 back, but if you tell me that Deebo Samuel can help with some creativity there and also.
And they like doing that kind of stuff.
Deebo Samuel's taken direct snaps before. And he can run in between the tackles. I understand what you're saying about Worthy being the guy that's in motion and all that. Xavier Worthy's not doing a direct snap and running off, up, behind your right guard. That's not what you're doing with Xavier Worthy.
Jet sweeps. I feel like
I understand, but it's a different element when you can also go in between the tackles and he can take a hit.
I'd rather just do that.
He ran into it. He got hit by Kelsey and basically ruined his whole season.
I would rather do that. What you're talking about I would just save it for Rashee Rice. I wouldn't pay Deebo to have the biggest difference be, well, we're going to run you. We're going to have you as a gadget.
That's the conversation. We don't know if Rice is available.
I'm with you, but that's the point is that if you don't have Rice, who can replicate some of the same
let's say Rashee's out 8 games. I think I'd rather just miss the 8 games and pay Deebo $52 million to fill in.
Paid $52 million. He's not getting a 3 or 4 year contract. He was only in Washington for a year. There's a reason why they're not.
Said the biggest number. He's the second biggest number behind Juwan Jennings.
15.8.
15. I thought you said 50.
No.
I still wouldn't pay him 15.
No. 50.
I think regardless of it, I think I would rather you draft a wide receiver at 9 that you can use I'd rather you draft Mekhi Lemon and do the same thing with Mekhi Lemon than pay Deebo and have him fill
want
that for
them-
one season. I would much rather you just draft Mekhi Lemon and have him do that.
I want them to draft a receiver too. Trust me. I'm not saying that you can sign Debo and you don't have to draft.
I just think
That's
in
what I
terms
said,
of
the long-term
But I
stuff
think
is
in
coming out
terms
of
of the
drafts.
money spent, I think your money's better spent on something other than a gadget guy, a wide receiver. I'd rather you pay somebody else who can. I'd rather you draft the gadget guy.
But
like
what
Mekhi
you're left
Lemon.
to is the gadget guys, you know? Like,
Juwan Jennings is not a gadget guy. I think I would rather
Other
pay
than
Juwan. I'd rather pay Juwan Jennings than
And that's what I've
yes.
than do the guy. I'd rather Greg Dortch.
Juwan Jennings is
I know you
number one.
mentioned Greg Dortch. He's not a gadget guy.
Juwan Jennings is for the. I've said it a few times. Go back to yesterday. Juwan Jennings is my number one target now that Bradley Chubb is not available in free agency. He signed with the Bills. Juwan Jennings, I would do that. I'm saying if they're not going to pay Jennings because he's too expensive, some other options. We were just listing them, and Debo's name came up, and I thought, hey, would you guys be interested? And it sounds like, again, it's fine. It sounds like you're not. I'm just saying I think he'd be an intriguing name for this offense, and I think he's a bit more than just a pure gadget guy that's Xavier worthy. I think they're a little bit different.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, when you're 30 pounds heavier, you play. I mean, you're a different player.
Typically, yes. And doesn't operate and use speed the exact same way that Xavier Worthy does. Again, I just think they're going to need another body. I think sometime by the end of tomorrow, another defensive lineman, another wide receiver is not out of the question. But maybe it's a next week thing. Maybe they wait to see the rest of the market lay itself out before they do it. Because again, the longer they can wait on Juwan Jennings or somebody like that, the better the price is getting, or the less years it's getting. Because I'm not really trying to get locked up. That's the one thing I'm against.
Debo's a 1-year deal. That's all I want.
But that's the one thing I'm against on the Juwan Jennings end is I don't really want him for 4 years. It's not that I wouldn't want him
do
here.
a 3-year contract where you can get out after 2 years.
Yeah, but like I got to figure out a way to limit the years probably more than anything else because I'm trying to solve this problem long term a different way. That's all. Just handles it a little bit different. Are you excited for some actual basketball today? We get to watch Missouri here in a little bit.
Yeah, today's a great day.
Kansas tonight, you going to go to the game?
I am, yeah. Drew and I will be out there tonight. 2 good games tonight we're going to be able to see. You got Houston, BYU in the early one.
Yeah.
A couple of studs in that game, top teams in the country. And then, of course, Kansas taking on TCU. We all know TCU and KU played earlier, and Kansas was very fortunate to come back and win that game at Allen Fieldhouse. TCU was also fortunate to come back and win last night. Oklahoma State was the better team for much of the night. And
Had
then
them on the ropes.
TCU came back from down double digits with 10 minutes or so to go in the game. So, yeah, I'm excited. It looks like, it should be great crowds tonight. If you look at the ticket pricing, it suggests that it should be great crowds as the price of tickets has gone up in the last 12 hours or so for tonight's session. So, yeah, you got Big 12 tournament starting at 11:30, and then Missouri taking on Kentucky in the SEC tournament at 11:30. And if you look at Lenardi's bracketology, he still lists them as one of the last 4 teams in. If they beat Kentucky, then everybody can take a deep breath, and I think that gets them out of Dayton, Ohio.
I still think they're in even if they lose, but you're right. It would bury that conversation. Of course, our Big 12 tournament coverage is presented by Busey Bank, the official bank of the Big 12. But I agree with you in the
first 4 part is all I mean for the get them out of the
to get them out of Dayton, to get them out of having to play a game on Tuesday and then have to turn the rest of the tournament around outside of that. Big 12 tournament, I am fascinated to watch because it's just going to be about who's having a good night, who's playing well. Because any of these teams can beat any of them. They've all beat up on each other. Like they've all just like beat each other up. And like on the SEC side, Gabe Yarman pointing out that on Missouri sides of the bracket, they're 7-1 against the teams they would face until the championship. And really all the teams they were losing against were the teams on the other side of the bracket. So I don't even know what to expect on their side of things.
Yeah. Did you watch any college hoops last night? A lot of the smaller conferences once again. How about Idaho, man? Now the Big Sky, first NCAA berth since 1990, baby.
1990.
Yeah. The Vandals in the dance.
Were they a rival of anybody in the Boise area?
Oh, it's a big deal. Boise State, Idaho fans don't like each other. It's a big deal.
Oh, so you're anti-Vandals.
Yeah, typically, yeah.
Typically.
Yeah, I didn't go to either school, but
just
I sided with Boise State in that 2 years that I was there, the rivalry.
You had to, you had to be a part of it.
Yeah, but it's a big deal for them. Congrats to Idaho. A few other schools clinched berths last night. There's MAC championship quarters going on right now with the undefeated Miami, Ohio Redhawks.
They got to stay undefeated, I guess. Everyone
they're
says.
getting in. They're getting in. They're 31-0. It's absolutely absurd if they don't get in. They're down by a point right now to UMass.
They have been
flirting.
They have been scraping by a lot of teams in the MAC. They found a way to win though, which is obviously in fairness to them. But they've been in it in a lot of close games, which obviously can help you in March. I don't know if I will have them winning opening weekend just because of that. But yeah, I would say that they're in.
I mean, I don't know how they.
Regardless,
what's the point of not putting them in? Like they're the 20th ranked team in the country. One loss does not change that.
Honestly, I think it's because their net is they're almost dead last in the country, and they're almost dead last in the country. That's the only reason that you even think about it. But if you look at the teams that are in the bubble, like Auburn is technically in. They're like 5 games below 500 in conference play, and the SEC is not as good this year. They shouldn't get in. Yeah, and Miami of Ohio should be over them.
It's one of the worst bubbles. It's the second worst in the last 6 years, according to some of the analytics that are out there as far as the overall bubble in this year's field. Miami, Ohio, you go 31-0. I don't care what happens in your conference tournament. You're in. And I think they will. If they were to lose today to UMass, they would still get in. I think we're at that point now.
Cal and Stanford losing helped them out the past couple of days.
And SMU also slipped up, I think it was. So we'll keep an eye on some of the games. The first game today, man, I'm a little jealous of the people that might be off work today. Iowa State, Texas Tech, 11:30 at T-Mobile Center. Iowa State fans have taken over downtown if you're checking that out. So it's going to be pretty cool atmosphere this afternoon even. And then, of course, tonight there'll be plenty with KU in action. Up next, let's talk more about wide receivers. I know we talked a ton about some of the free agents, but look at the dollar amount Kenneth Walker got compared to some of these receivers. And one thing about Brett Veach when we look at George Karlaftis' current contract.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
JR & Company, the only roofing company offering a free lifetime warranty on workmanship and a free shingle upgrade that can save thousands in future insurance premiums. Locally owned, veteran-owned, and family-owned. Call JR today or visit jrstormcheck.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppable beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
Don't wait until extreme temps hit. Anthony makes home comfort easy. Right now, buy a new AC and get a furnace free when you book at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, we're about a half hour away from hearing from a couple of the Chiefs' free agent signings. Kenneth Walker, the headline. Of course, first guy off the board for the Chiefs back on Monday, feels like forever ago. A 3-year, $43 million contract, so he is in Kansas City. Hopefully we'll hear from him, along with a couple of the other signings for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll carry that live here on 96.5 The Fan. And thinking of Kenneth Walker, wanted to talk more about him because, all right, the salary is the 8th largest contract for a running back that has been handed out in NFL history. It's 3 for $43, could, I think, go up to $45 with a couple of incentives. So it comes out to $14.3 million per year. Very pricey, as we discussed on Monday and Tuesday. And it's always the balance of, okay, for that same dollar amount, what kind of player could I have got at another position based on positional value? So what kind of wide receiver is making $14.3 million per year?
I might show you defensive end too, because I think it's worthy, because a lot of times the conversation has been, well, they need this player more, or they could just take a wide receiver or a running back at 9, like for all the people who want a Jeremiah Love. I want to point out that this is exactly why I would do the Kenneth Walker deal. Because when I give these names, the internal question to ask yourself, and one we'll answer here on the show eventually, is, will this player matter more to the overall health of the offense more than Kenneth Walker will for the price? So right at, or a little below his price point, are guys like Jalen Naylor, who just signed, Darius Slayton, and Rashad Bateman and Khalil Shakir. They're all a little under his number, but close enough within a few million of it that they can bring him in. Do any of those guys, would any of those guys have garnered the headlines or the thought about the offense the way that Kenneth Walker would? Hell no.
Yeah, Walker will have a bigger impact, and I like Khalil Shakir, but Kenneth Walker can have a much bigger impact in this offense than what he would have.
Of course. So then you get into at least a couple of guys that you can have the argument. Mike Evans at $14.1 million for San Francisco. Cooper Kupp makes more, by the way, $15 million a year.
You just named two guys that are 32 and 31 years old.
Yeah, there's a reason why. Romeo Doubs at $17 million a year.
Very interested in him.
And then Rashid Shaheed at 17. Wan'Dale Robinson at 17.5. So now we're talking about $3 or $4 million more than Kenneth Walker, but guys that would be available at that price. I'll be honest with you. I don't think you guys are realizing that other than Mike Evans, those are all 650, 700-yard wide receivers. Would you rather have another 700-yard wide receiver in this team, which they've been rich in over the last couple of years, or a 1,100-yard all-purpose back that they've been missing in the offense for years? That's why I'm pointing out these numbers, I guess, in the sense that I wouldn't trade Kenneth Walker for any of them.
Well, this was just the entire argument about, I can go get a top-level running back for this price. A top-level wide receiver is going to cost you $25, $30 million a year.
Yeah.
And same with defensive end. I can go, and this is why in the draft, I think they should absolutely, with one, if not two, of their top 40 picks, 3 of them that they have to draft a wide receiver and a defensive end, at minimum with one of the 3, if not 2 of them are a wide receiver or 2 are a defensive end. At this point, they haven't signed a defensive end. They've signed a defensive tackle. So I think that's why you look at the draft based on the value of a wide receiver in free agency. It is so much more beneficial if I can hit on a receiver in the draft than if I can hit on a running back in the draft. It is much more beneficial financially if I can hit. It's a big if, but if I can hit on a defensive end in the draft than it is trying to find that same comparable player in free agency.
Yeah, because if I hit on the running back and like, if I have to pay the free agent running back and I got to pay him $15-20 million a year, okay. If they're a drafted guy, I'm going to pay $7 or $8 million anyway if I'm picking him as high as that. Versus wide receiver, if I pay for him in the free agent market, I got to pay $20-30 million a year, and I got to pay $40 million a year if they're elite level guys. So like, I'd rather have that guy for a few years of cheap guys. I looked up the defensive ends too, by the way. You're not going to be any more impressed. Hassan Reddick, Eric Armstead, Harold Landry, Jonathan Cooper. These are the type of players you could have gotten 2 years ago, by the way, for Jonathan Cooper. He would actually make more now. That was in 2024. Bradley Chubb is a player you could have.
I would have done that deal.
So that's an argument is, I would have done that deal too. But would you have done that deal instead of Kenneth Walker? Because they're the exact same amount of average annual per year, 14.3 versus 14.5. They're both on 3-year deals. Would you rather have Bradley Chubb on this team or Kenneth Walker?
I'd rather do Chubb because he's the biggest need.
I don't know if I agree with that.
We've talked about this entire offseason. Yeah. The biggest need is edge. You can't have enough of them. I'd rather pay Bradley Chubb.
Yeah,
and draft a running back in the 3rd round.
Yeah, but see, the 3rd round doesn't. I mean, it's more likely to me in terms of having an impact player that I draft an edge in with 2 of my top 3 picks, let's say, if they do that, than waiting till the 3rd round, drafting a middle of the road running back. I know they solved running back already. I know they solved it. Like, it's solved. I don't have to technically devote any more resources if I didn't want to. I think they will draft somebody still, but I don't have to devote any more resources to running back.
Chubb wouldn't solve the problem.
I wanted Bradley Chubb, but if they signed Bradley Chubb, I would not be sitting here saying they shouldn't draft a defensive end. So they actually fixed and solved the problem, and it's done. I don't have to allocate any more resources for 2 years, 3 years.
I think that's part of where it is for me too, Drew. And like, I understand your argument of like biggest need, but it doesn't even fix the position. And it goes back to like some of the draft.
The biggest need doesn't only have to be addressed in free agency, though.
Well, running back.
I don't think it would be. I think you would draft. I think you would. Legitimately, if Bane's available at 9 and you can sign Bradley Chubb, sign me.
I would have done.
I would have done that, and then you draft the run because I think not that Kenneth Walker is not a great running back. You're paying him 4th running back money when he's not the 4th best running back in the NFL, and we've seen running backs get drafted in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round who become the exact type of running back that Kenneth Walker is. I think I would rather devote the resources to that while guaranteeing I'm upgrading my defensive line, which was not good last year.
I like Bradley Chubb. I would have signed him, Drew. But like the logic of like you're paying Kenneth Walker to be the 4th best running back, he's not. Bradley Chubb is getting paid like he's the 18th best defensive end. I don't know if he is, even though I liked him. So he's not a top 20 edge rusher at this point of his career. So that's just free agency, right? Like, Alec Pierce is not a top 6 receiver in football. He's getting paid like it. That's just the nature of free agency.
Yeah.
How much did you say Wandell got paid to? 17. So you got a few more. Wandell was a 1,000-yard receiver last year. Like, I think we can't look past.
Yeah,
Wandell had 1,000 yards last year.
Wandell signed a $70 million contract, making $17.5 million.
So it was like only a couple million more than Kenneth Walker. I guess
million more.
I would lean to Wandell.
$27 million more. A couple million more. I know the average
per year.
The problem with Wandell is that, like, the argument you made for Deebo Samuel. Like, when you think about his height and his speed, there's no reason to not think that you can't just develop Worthy into that. His first 2 years as a Giant were worse than Worthy's first 2 years as a Chief. Hell, his 3rd year as a Giant was worse than either of the 2 years that Worthy had as a Chief. So, like, and it's not that I'm anti-Wandell, it's just, like, even more so than Deebo, you just have to count on your development to get Worthy to Wandell Robinson's place.
Then they shouldn't sign a single wide receiver and just draft him and develop him then, because I think Wandell is much younger than Deebo is. I think that's another reason why I would do the Wandell deal. If we're talking about just free agency wide receivers in terms of what they can bring to an offense and all the things that you have seen here last season that encompass what they do and what they need, I would take Wandell Robinson over Kenneth Walker and bank on the running back in that 3rd round meshing with a cheaper running back option, and your resources are devoted to things that you do more in your offense and the biggest need, which is on defense.
Yeah, it's probably more of a fundamental difference on just like how to go about building out the roster, I guess, because I like the fact that now they have solved a position at running back. They still need to solve defensive end, but they have 3 picks in the top 40 potentially to do that. And once again, I'm getting more value by potentially hitting on a defensive end in the draft than I am hitting on a running back in the draft because of what we just laid out financially.
And if I start taking the 3rd round, my risk of not getting a guy who's any good is going up significantly versus when you were making the argument just earlier in the week for like Jeremiah Love, they are more likely to hit.
Can we also just talk about the reality that Jeremiah Love may not have been there at 9 either? So, like in this hypothetical, they would have signed Bradley Chubb, which I would have liked. They would have maybe signed a running back, but I don't know if they would have if they thought they were just going to play the draft game. So then they're at 9. Jeremiah Love, let's say, is off the board in this hypothetical. Then they're not drafting one at 9. So then they could still draft an edge. Okay, let's say they still get Bain even in this hypothetical. Yeah. Then it's pick 29 and 40, but you're forced to get a running back that nobody's expecting to immediately come in and just be anywhere even near what Kenneth Walker is, anywhere near what Jeremiah Love is. Like you're now having a question mark at running back on top of it, and I already went out and spent a lot of money on the defensive end. Here, I've spent top running back money, but in the grand scheme of an NFL roster, it is a small percentage of my NFL roster that I'm spending on Kenneth Walker over time, and I have a chance to go and get a position that in free agency would have cost me top-tier money to fix. I might be able to fix that with 2 draft picks, and I have the advantage moving forward. It is worth the risk of how hard it is to find a defensive end in the draft versus a running back based off of what I have to pay to find a comparable player at that same position.
But that's why I asked you earlier in the week, like, do you want, what makes a successful season for Kenneth Walker? Because I think that for the amount that you're paying him, at like
1,000 yards from scrimmage, but more importantly to the Chiefs, eventually during this contract, do they get back to a Super Bowl and win one?
Because I think that in terms of like Kenneth Walker,
does the offense get back to a top 8 offense in football while he's the running back? Do they average as a top 5 to 7 offense in football over the life of his contract? That's kind of where I'm at.
Because I think that to an extent, if let's say he's great, but they don't make it to a Super Bowl, then do you consider that a failure then? And you could have just spent your resources. Because I think that if it ultimately comes down to whether or not they win a Super Bowl or not, they've shown fully capable of winning a Super Bowl while dedicating essentially 0 resources to that spot. So why completely flip the script?
I think because the league's
and pay
changed.
all of that money for a running back where you can bring it. We've seen Chase Brown, Bucky Irving. I don't even know what round Kenneth Walker was drafted in. I think maybe the 2nd round or 3rd round. Like, to me,
we've acknowledged that Chiefs failed at
on offense and how they've built the team. I think that it fits better what they've done to have success by not paying Kenneth Walker that money.
We've agreed over and over and talked about it plenty that they failed at the running back position the last 2 or 3 years. They should have spent a higher draft pick on a running back. I'm not disagreeing with you there. The reality is they didn't, though. So they're trying a different path to solve that problem.
What we've talked about before as well, the Chiefs went to a Super Bowl without doing that same thing. They've won 3 of them without. I think that
but
also
just doing the same thing over
part of the thing as well. I think in the argument.
But once the run is over, and they went to 3 straight, so there was no reason to pivot at that point. But last year, you won 6 games. If you were ever going to pivot in how you might be building your roster, now's the time you do that. Just because I did something 5 years ago doesn't mean I do the exact same thing now. I think that's their thought process. 3 years ago, Chiefs fans did not want them once again spending this kind of resource on a running back position after what happened with Clyde. But as time goes on, you realize, A, that was 4 years ago. B, the NFL values running backs differently today on March 12th, 2026 than the league and certainly the Chiefs did on March 12th, 2024.
Yeah, and I just think the league's changed a lot. Admittedly, they're better in the sack game when they go to the Super Bowl. But I also just don't like, I guess in this hypothetical, it's like, I think they get closer to fixing the overall roster for $14 million outside of it. That's why I just wanted to look at the contracts. Obviously, there's still plenty of room for debate on it, but I mean, it doesn't buy you as much as you think, I guess, is the argument. On the other end, I think Brett Veach oftentimes got really criticized a lot by Chiefs fans this year because they had such a bad year and because he sold his soul to try to three-peat, and because of that, the team stunk way worse. There's one contract, though, I think we got to look back on because at the time, Gold, I felt like you and I were in the minority in liking the George Carlaftis contract. I'm not saying it wasn't expensive. 4 years and $93 million didn't seem like a lot for a guy who's like an 8 to 11, 8 to 12 sack guy. As in, some years he'll get 8. He'll get you double digits every once in a while. But he's not like Mr. Super Pass Rusher of all time. That contract now, by the way, that they have him under contract for through 2030, looks like, based on the free agent numbers this year for defensive end, the steal of a century. They're not even going to have to rework his contract. He's owed 15, 15, 23, 25, and 22 over the next 5 seasons, equating for no more than 6% of the current cap in any given year, and that's before it jumps up significantly. I'm telling you right now, That deal's peanuts. Peanuts. That's it. 4 for 93, 4 for 88. Really, it's 93 at its maximum. Like, you're telling me that's all they got to pay George Karlaftis over the next 5 years? That feels like a very, very, very team-friendly deal. I just wanted to revisit the fact that that's one of Brett Veach's better signings based on the way it's working in the free agent pool.
The production dipped, and that's frustrating throughout the contract. If the production last year is what you're going to get, that'll still be frustrating. But the danger of it blowing up on your face for what you just said, based on where the market is at, is minimal. And there's also still the upside that he bounces back and gets back to being a double-digit sack guy, and then you're really loving the contract. But this is, we just got done talking about with just because you're paid this offseason doesn't mean in 2 years the contract can't look better. If your production is there, usually with quarterbacks it doesn't go this way. But if you're talking about defensive linemen, if we're talking about a wide receiver, even as crazy as the Alec Pierce deal looks today, where he's getting paid like a top 5 receiver, there's a chance in 3 years though. If he's consistently what he was last year, there's a chance that all of a sudden he's like the 15th highest paid receiver in 3 years, and you're like, okay, you know what? Not terrible. Like that's just the nature of where the salary.
The 15th best guy, but maybe I'm wrong.
Where the salary cap is continuing to go up. So yeah, the Karlaftis deal financially is not that bad.
No, I think it's good. I actively think, I was just looking at the free agent numbers this year, and look, I gave you those other ones because I thought, well, let's at least show you what it actually buys you. When you talk about average annual salary, like the kind of people he's in conjunction with are all the very, in my opinion, mediocre guys that got signed this offseason. Like Jalen Phillips makes $30 million a year. He's been as effective as Jalen Phillips. He's also only 24 years old. But and I understand he's still paid somewhere near the top of it. But once you start realizing what some of these other guys getting, like what Quiddy got from the Raiders.
Quiddy pay.
Yeah, he got the same amount of money as
Karlaftis is just a better football player than he is.
Significantly.
And again, it's not the first time in an offseason a player got better, that is worse, got more money.
This is only 1 year removed. We're not talking 3 years down the road.
No,
I'm saying the thing's already paying dividends now.
Yeah.
Quiddy Pay is 28 years old. He's never had a sack season. His best season's 8.5 sacks. He's got less sacks in 5 career years than George Karlaftis has in 4. So it's there is a huge advantage in locking some of these guys up. All I'm saying is that I think Brett Veach is better with some of these contracts than you think. Like the Kenneth Walker one, I get it. They overpaid because it's free agency. George Karlaftis, they ended up getting that cheap because they signed him before he made it. He made it to free agency. Versus Trent McDuffie, and I think this is why Trent.
Not
McDuffie,
every player is willing to do that. That's that. And McDuffie, they always were. They were. His agent was always going to get him the contract to make him the highest paid cornerback in football. He was never going to be the guy that was going to get a deal done early, and not play it out a little bit, unless you were going to make him the highest paid corner at that given time. And George Karlaftis, for everybody's got different reasons for that, fit, family, whatever, that they might be more willing to work out a deal earlier and a deal that gets you some more money now. This not the first time a player has decided that. Could Karlaftis have said, no, I don't want an extension last year? Yeah. And could he eventually have, did he cost himself some money? Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Absolutely. But you also get the security of, knock on wood, let's say last year he would have had a devastating injury. Well, he had that security for himself, right? That's the risk reward you have to weigh a little bit. And how much are you betting on yourself?
What's really hard is so someone's but on the other end, the Chris Jones contract, they're saying
they screwed that up. Yeah.
Is the worst contract by far. The only problem is, I agree that they overpaid Chris Jones. Okay. But in the first 2 years that he signed that, they won 1 Super Bowl. So had Chris Jones not been on the team, did they win that Super Bowl? I don't know that I want to cash in that chip. The
$44 million cap of this year is a problem.
Of course it is.
It's a massive problem.
He's 15% of their cap. He's actually a lower cap at next year.
Yes.
Than he is this year.
Which is why I hope they don't restructure his deal this year. I would rather just play it out at $44 million this year and bite the bullet.
They could save $20 million next year if they wanted to cut him. They can't cut him this year, by the way. His dead cap number is actually, I think, higher than his actual cap number.
Yeah, he's playing for the team this year.
So they'd lose $20 million by cutting him. So that's not a question. But it's so hard with the butterfly effect sometimes because Drew was talking about they've gone into this thing without a good running back before. But it's always the same thing. Sure, they won the Super Bowl with Damian Williams and LaShawn McCoy as the top 2 backs over the course of a year. And yeah, they've won a Super Bowl in which, I don't know, Clyde was maybe the lead guy.
They've also won a Super Bowl. They've also won a Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill as a wide receiver, and they've won with Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore I mean,
they're
every year
doing
it can
it
be
a lot
different.
of different ways. My question is, where is the roster most easily improved for your dollar? And at running back, I guess that's kind of where I go there. I'm really happy with the George Karlaftis deal in retrospect now. It's starting to me to look like a good discount.
Do you think there's a chance that he can actually bounce back? Because you want to make it feel really good deal-wise going forward. Well, then he's someone that has a chance to get back to double-digit sacks. Is that in play? Do you think if they were to get some help on the other side, let's say they draft Reuben Bain or they draft somebody else that turns out to be a hit. It's a big if that happens, but let's say can he get back to where he was even 2 years ago when he was an 8-sack guy? Because remember, 6 sacks last year was extremely disappointing, but he had nobody else on that defensive line. Him and Chris Jones were getting all the attention. Karlaftis should have been more effective, I still would argue, last year than what he was. For playing 16 games and being healthy, that was a really disappointing production season.
He was healthy-ish.
He played in 16 games, so...
Well, I just meant like there was an injury that people said might have been affecting him more, that's all.
Yeah.
But to your point, he did play.
And the year before, he had 8 sacks, and then, of course, his second year was the breakout year. He had 10.5. Can he get back to that 10.5 sack range? If they have somebody opposite him, I think so.
He is a player. He is not... This is the difference between Chris Jones and Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett and some of the guys who get to just do their own thing because they're so good, they don't need any help. Karlaftis does need a little help. And you're like, well, I'm paying $23 million for a guy who needs help? Yeah. That's the cost of doing business sometimes in the NFL. I can't even, like last year, it's like sometimes it's like the Royals outfielders. This is how I feel about the other defensive players on the line, besides Chris Jones and George Karlaftis last year. It is like the Royals outfielders. I don't think we have emphasized enough just how bad the other players performed. Mike Dana, Charles Omenihu, Mike Pennell, they weren't just bad. They were some of the worst players at those positions in the league.
Now look at Derek Nottie just signed.
They were awful.
Derek Nottie signed a deal with the Colts yesterday for the vet minimum.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, of course, moved on from Derek Nottie and then had to trade for him to come back. That was a mistake, by the way.
You think?
To say the least, even though it was a 7th-round pick. Derek Nottie may just not have it anymore.
Yeah, but they were awful. Awful, awful, awful. He was being given 0 assistance. Not 0 because Chris Jones was there. So Chris Jones does take some attention. Fine. Outside of Chris Jones, what was the point of blocking anyone that wasn't those two guys? And so I just don't think he was given the advantage very often. I do think his injury played a small factor last year. So maybe he would have been more like an 8-sack guy had he been fully healthy, not just on the field. Because that's the thing. They couldn't afford to not have him play, even if he was hurt. Couldn't take a game off with George Karlaftis last year. Then what would they do at the pass rush? That's the whole other problem.
All right, coming up next, we're expected to hear from Kenneth Walker. We talked a lot about him this hour, and some of the other free agents as the Chiefs officially introduce them now that all the moves are official. So we'll head out to Arrowhead in just a bit. Also talk more about the misses that the Chiefs had in free agency, as in players that are on other teams now that did not re-sign with Kansas City, and maybe a surprise player that'll have a bigger impact. That's coming up right here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days if your bet loses. Here's how it works. Very simple. Place a tournament bet using the token, and if it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 back in bonus bets every single day for 10 straight days. So that's 10 chances to play all tourney long, from game props to money lines, spreads, totals, futures, and much more. You can even mix things up with the same game parlay for your shot at an even bigger payout. However you want to fill out your bracket, FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the action day after day. So visit FanDuel.com/local to sign up today. FanDuel, it's time to dance. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Must apply select token each day. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after receipt. Tokens are received in increments of 1 per day. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
IV. Time to stock up the bar and fill up your tank. Earn 50 cents per gallon fuel savings on every $50 purchase of wine, beer, hard seltzer, and spirits. Mix and match all your favorite libations and get a 50-cent fuel saver with every $50 purchase. Stack up the savings, and your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee. Product promotion differs by location. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
If you're like me, you're feeling the pinch of high prices right now on just about everything. And that's where my friends at Hy-Vee come in to save the day. Because they're always finding ways at Hy-Vee to save me money, like amazing fuel saver deals. Shop Hy-Vee this Saturday and Sunday and get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount when you spend $60 on groceries. And you can stack up the savings on Hy-Vee fuel saver deals, and your next fill-up could even be free. There's nothing better than saving money, only at Hy-Vee.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old.
She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Coming to Kansas City, the NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship. 16 teams, 15 games, 6 days, and 1 national champion. The NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship at Municipal Auditorium, March 19th to the 24th. Get your tickets now at NAIAHoops.com. Look out for Max Minute on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, 11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. We are awaiting Chiefs press conference out at Arrowhead. Expected to hear from multiple members of the Chiefs, including the headliner, Kenneth Walker, the free agent running back, signed on Monday, became official yesterday. He landed in Kansas City, signed that 4-year contract. And so we'll check in on him as soon as they are good to go out at Arrowhead. And it'll be interesting to hear for him in particular, because he's one of the few in NFL history that have won a Super Bowl MVP and the very next year did not return to the same team. It just doesn't happen. I think he's the fourth maybe player in NFL history to ever be in that particular spot. And sorry, I said 4 years. 3 years, $43 million. Sorry, 3-year contract, not a 4-year contract.
Rare for sure.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen very often.
I gotta say, so like earlier in the week, so I've got like a slight cold, nothing other than like congestion. And I was talking to my wife this morning, and I didn't realize if I've been doing this wrong this whole time, and I could be living a better life in my entire adult life. At no point, maybe when I was a kid either, I have never taken like a decongestant over-the-counter Sudafed, any of that, ever. Should I be taking those?
The way you the way you sound stuffed up, you would feel better. Yes.
Would I? Does it work?
Yes, your nose sounds clogged when you're talking.
But I've never taken any medicine like that ever. Feels weird to take now at this point because I never take it.
I mean, if you're uncomfortable and if you feel like you're
I've taken a cough suppressant, like a NyQuil or something.
Yeah.
Before bed, I've gone that far, but that's it. That's like the end of my medicine.
I mean, if you don't feel like you need it, then don't take it. But if you're uncomfortable and if you're constantly having a runny nose or something, then maybe. So yesterday I went to the ENT or whatever.
Yeah,
so
how'd that go?
I mean,
it was fixed?
No, I do not just smell like that. No. No,
they just gave you a magic pill?
No, the appointment went good. I basically, short term, the reason why I haven't felt great in the last week or so and the voice was bad, I have a sinus infection. So that's for starters. That's just the short term thing. It has nothing to do with the not smelling for 2.5 years necessarily. So in the short term, yeah, I'm on some stuff to get rid of this sinus infection.
Which you didn't even know you had.
No, but I thought there was a chance I did because when I lost my voice and as the week went on, I told you I just didn't feel right and I had headaches and stuff and it was driving me crazy. So I'm on an antibiotic and I'm on some steroid stuff for the next week. But then in a month, I go back to get a CT scan and find out if there's something we can do about the smelling thing.
You're taking performance enhancers?
Yeah. I'm on PEDs
He's all
today.
roided up.
Yeah, roided up.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
No, I'm on.
How many are you taking?
It's one of those dose packs. So it's like day one, like today, a lot.
What do you mean, like 10?
Well, it's small milligrams. I have to take 6 pills today.
He's all roided up. 6 pills?
And then it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a dose pack. It's a very common thing.
So if you get
feel
angry
great.
or something today?
I feel great.
Is this the best you felt in a while?
It is actually. It really is. Definitely, at least in 2 weeks. So we'll see. The smell thing, we'll see if it comes back a little bit while I'm on the antibiotic, because that's what happened one time. And so there's a chance I just have like chronic sinus infection, inflammation post-COVID that has caused me to lose smell. That's the hope that it is, because that's more correctable. And I found out I have a deviated septum, but I don't have trouble breathing. So
and you're only now finding that out now?
I know, that's what he said. He's like,
Do
what?
you snore?
Nope.
How are you sure, though?
I mean, am I 1,000% sure? No.
Because
I've shared.
You live on your own.
You and I have shared a hotel room. You tell me.
I don't know. I mean,
I think you would know. If it was bad, I would have kept you up.
Yeah, maybe.
Point being is there was optimism out of the appointment, so I'm excited about that. And in the short term, I'm going to feel a heck of a lot better and get rid of this sinus infection. So
over on Twitch, somebody said, "You heard it from Gold. Steroids make you feel great."
That's right.
Hey kids, Alex says steroids are great and make you feel awesome.
Someone says roid rage incoming. I don't think they're. There's side effects. These are there's some small side effects, but these are very common. I think they're like I don't even know. They're probably like 4 milligram each. It's a very small. It's like prednisone basically. It's not that, but it's similar to that. It's a very common, popular thing. And to try to, they said I also help my voice a little bit. He's like the sinus infection, the antibiotics will get rid of that. But he's like, I'll also put you on a steroid that'll help get things going here.
Loosen up the vocal cords.
If you notice, today's the strongest my voice has been in a week.
Well, honestly,
week and a half.
I think what was surprising, and maybe that's why you had it, is your voice wasn't right for 10 days.
Yeah.
That's like
no, it truly is the best I felt. Today's the best I've felt in a while. So thank you, doctor.
Thank you, steroids, for assisting Alex and making him feel better.
Yeah.
We'll go to the press conferences here in just a few as we're awaiting Kenneth Walker and others to talk at the podium out there at Arrowhead Stadium, as you had mentioned here earlier. I do want to take a look at the contracts again in the NFL for just a minute and talk about the deals that didn't get done that we would have done. To me, this is slightly different than the conversation we were just having in the these ones are done. And where do we think that the Chiefs might have hypothetically missed in this? Because, look, I'll make this easy. I would not have in any way done the Jalen Phillips deal, Alec Pierce deal, Trey Hendrickson deal. Like, I'll just give you some of the ones right away. No, thank you. Wan'Dale Robinson, no, thank you. Feels ripe for a setback, especially because he just went to Tennessee. I feel like he just took $100 million to let his career die in Nashville. Now, look, worst place to have $100 million and to be living your best life, but I am not optimistic it's going to go great for Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, let's talk about the deals I actually would have done. Travis Etienne? Oh, no, you know what? God, I forgot he got 4 years. I would have done his either.
The extra years.
And I like Etienne. I would have done Boye Mafes. I'll give Cincinnati credit. 3 years and $60 million for an edge player I liked. That's the kind of contract I probably would have signed up for. I would have done the Bradley Chubb deal. That's the kind of deal I would have signed up for. So far at the moment, it just feels like the defensive ends who are the right price are the ones that I'm most interested in. Is there one you feel like the Chiefs missed on that if it were the same price you would have paid?
I mean,
Chubb,
the Bradley Chubb deal is the one that I mentioned his name yesterday, and then a couple hours later, he ended up signing with Buffalo, and I saw that deal, and I was disappointed. I thought that would have been a very effective deal for the Kansas City Chiefs.
What about the Leo
forward.
deal? Would you have done Chanel's deal in?
That one's interesting because it's not a ton of money.
It's only $24 million.
The question with that is, were they going to continue to utilize his skill set to the best of his ability? Like, is there a chance if you're Leo, are you going to have a better career moving forward actually in Washington? I know that normally you'd be like, what are you talking about? But with what he can do with his athleticism, there's a chance he will be a better scheme fit in Washington than what he was in Kansas City. Like that, there is a chance that plays out that way. And so I'm wondering, like, if he also viewed it as a better situation than just coming back to Kansas City. Financially, yes, I would have brought back Leo. It's weird because Drew Tranquil was a cut candidate, and they could still cut him, but right now it looks like Drew Tranquil is going to be on this team.
They're in a weird spot at linebacker. Somebody was asking me about this. They pointed out that Dre Greenlaw just got officially cut by the Denver Broncos as a post-June 1 cut. And they were like, hey, you interested? Which is a fair question anytime somebody's on the market at a position in which they're technically thin. No. And the reason why is I am firmly convinced between Bassa and this year's current draft class, they need to get younger and healthier and cheaper at linebacker. Because I still, like, weirdly, and I think former coworker Brandon Kiley pointed this out, I still, like, we talk about all the money they can move around, they could still technically extend Bolton and screw with his money again, too. Not saying that's a great idea, but they love Nick Bolton.
Trey Smith. They have plenty of guys that they can redo deals with if they wanted to.
But so, like, I'm not real interested in exploring free agent linebackers right now. I think the draft is a good place for that.
It's a deep draft for linebacker. By the way, if you're just joining us, you're not missing anything at the Chiefs press conferences have not started. They're running late, so I know we said 11 o'clock. That was when it was scheduled. A couple people were asking. We are not missing any of that. I promise you. Drew will let us know as soon as that press conference begins. We will head out there. You'll hear from Kenneth Walker and some of the other
Tonga
Chiefs
and Gilman
free
all
agent.
expected to speak.
Okay, they're all three. Okay, all three are in town. I wasn't sure if everybody made it in yet. A lot of them have to because they have to do their physical, as we all learned throughout the whole Max Crosby mess. The deals have to be official via approving a physical or passing a physical as well. So
You know, that Max Crosby deal really taught us a lesson in that. Did you? It was getting worse, man. So I complained yesterday about the way that Adam Schefter handled they were really thinking about Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson together. I'm like, that's a lie. You don't have to just repeat a lie. Yeah. Did you see how much worse it got? People were reporting, DeCosta was torn up. I mean, practically depressed that physical failed. He couldn't believe it. He was hurt deeply. You're like, okay, we don't have to just repeat things DeCosta says to cover his ass. Or at least can you say, this is what he said. This is probably to cover his ass. Like, that's all we're asking for, at least in that scenario. Are there any other deals so far that you've seen that you love? Like, now I'm just like, would you have done Joseph Asai at $34 million? He was the name of guy, or Nakobe Dean at 36. Drew, I know you mentioned a couple of guys you were disappointed in Cincinnati not getting, but there were a couple of guys, like, the problem is the defensive line game, I don't think I would have been there. The only other one I would say from the Chiefs end I would have done is probably Jalen Watson's. $17 million a year, that feels about right for him. It's a 3-year deal. You can get out it in 2. They don't have any other corners right now that we're confident in. It's a bit expensive, but I probably would have done the Jalen Watson deal.
Yeah, people are asking about trade scenarios and would you trade the 9th for Crosby? Who says no? The Raiders. The Raiders say no on that, for starters, let alone the cap implications. But the Raiders would say no. A, trading in division. B, they want 2 first-round picks still.
Yeah, that's the report.
So that would not get the deal done. I really don't think it would.
The problem
even if we wanted to play out, even if we want to ignore the other factor, which is Tom Brady wouldn't even trade Crosby reportedly to the Patriots. He's not trading him to Kansas City.
No, I don't think that would be the case. Or at least I guess I'd be surprised if that was the case. But yeah, I just don't think that. The other part is like, are they really going to get 2 first-round picks? This is after all this, I feel like Max Crosby is going to stay a Raider. Their problem is, Gold, if somebody offers a 1st and a 4th, well, a year later, when he's still on your roster, but he's a year older, maybe hurt again, maybe the injury stuff happens again. And look, I do believe he'll probably be a man on a mission this upcoming season, and so maybe they'll get the best version of Max Crosby. And I'd love him out of the division for the same reason we had said it was fine if he went to the Ravens. But then he'll be 1 year older. He'll be 30, going into 31. His bigger contract numbers will be coming in. But for the same reason we mentioned the Carlaftis thing, technically, if you didn't even give him an extension, he's cheap. He's cheap by defensive free agent markets. $35 million this year, but 29 next year, 27 and 28. Those are 3 cap numbers that you can absolutely absorb if you're a team trading him. But if he's only got 3 years left on his deal, not 4, is he worth 2 first-rounders? So, like, if you wait a year, you might get less value, but you might get a year of play out of him. But a year of play in a year, Gold, in which we don't expect the Raiders to be good. Does anyone think the Raiders aren't finishing last in this division again?
I would be very surprised if they don't finish last.
I think they'll be better, but they won't. I think they'll finish last probably.
It'd be pretty shocking, honestly.
Unless Mendoza's that guy.
Fair.
If Mendoza's that guy, then he's healthy the whole season.
You know what?
But again, they might not even play him. They might bring in somebody else. So
they may not.
Who knows?
They may not play him, but also even the rookies in the recent history, the 2 that had unbelievable rookie years, Jaden Daniels and Stroud. Jaden Daniels, to me, had way more talent on the roster his rookie year. I really believe that. And C.J. Stroud, his rookie season, that was a year in which I would still argue, wide receiver-wise, they had better weapons. Like, that's the question. Like, who else are the Raiders offensively bringing? I just think the team that Mendoza is walking into is worse than the team that Jaden Daniels and even C.J. Stroud walked into their rookie year.
Yeah, they won the division though in their year. Overall, we're talking about is not finishing last, right? Or is it winning the division?
Yeah,
but I guess
I'm just still saying that they were
those
better
divisions
teams.
were also worse. And yeah, Denver and the Chargers both were 11, 12, 13 win teams or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Denver finished with, but
I still think they'd finish in last, but I think they'll be better.
I mean, they should be better just by default.
The Raiders still feel like a 6-win team.
I agree. Picking in the top 10 or 12 again. And then trying to, then
which the Chiefs were a 6-win team last year.
Yeah, they were. But they've also got other Super Bowls and everything else. So, like, their bounce back is far more. They finished last in the division. The Chiefs stunk.
Right. Well, hence why Pete Carroll was 1 and done.
Yeah, you think? From the beginning, that deal never made any sense. It really didn't. And it was never going to for a variety of reasons.
What a sour way to end your career if you're Pete Carroll. I mean, you got forced out in Seattle. You did some amazing things there, but got forced out. The guy that replaced you already won a ring, and you go to the Raiders and you're 1 and done. And Mike McDonald is a legend already somehow in Seattle, just like that.
Yeah,
I think he was asked about losing like Tariq Woolen and somebody else, and he said, "I don't care." Straight up, he said, "I don't care."
Confident. Just want a ring. Very confident right now.
I mean, it's easy. Like,
won't talk to his kid. Doesn't care that
that's still
players
like
left.
What a weird year it's been in the like glorifying the lack
Being away
of
from your
family
family?
time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like, nah, man, it's
I'm
cool.
working so hard. I don't even have time for my kids. It's like they're bragging about it. You're like, that's not a great thing. Yeah.
You should not be bragging about this. I also I just have a firm personal belief that there's a certain amount of working hours you can grind towards something before you become less productive. That's all.
I think that's true. By the way, here's how I know we're close to football season. Training camp is a long ways away, but like that football off season's in full swing. That we're 16 minutes late already for a presser. We're back, baby. We're
feel
back.
right.
Yeah.
You know, feels right in a lot of ways. Well, we'll talk some other Chiefs here, and when we get to the press conference, we will. I do want to point out one thing that you and I had talked about is being on the shopping list for the Chiefs this offseason, which is backup quarterback. Getting thin, isn't it?
Well,
are they really going to go? They're not going draft a backup quarterback. I'll just say that right now.
They will have a guy.
They're not going Ola token. I'll say that too. So who is the guy remaining that they're actually going to bring in?
Their backup's going to be a guy that started games in the league. So yeah, the number 2 quarterback's not going to be some rookie or some guy that's never started. Especially if there's a chance, and I know we all hope and think Mahomes could be ready week 1, but it's admittedly nobody can tell me 100%.
Did you break down his gate yesterday at the Big 12 tournament?
I did not. I was not there yesterday.
I saw him walking to his seat.
He was courtside.
They said he had a little bit of a. He was favoring his leg, but he looked fine. So somebody said
it's still only March. Is Mahomes ready to go right now? Of course not. He's got till September to be ready to rock and roll. I think there's, of course, a really good chance he plays week 1, but nobody can say, not even Patrick Mahomes can say 100% sure that he's playing week 1. So I got to have a backup that if I need a couple of starts out of, I feel I can win those games. They give me a legit chance to win. So I want experience. Gardner Minshew signed with the Cardinals, as we all know. Jacoby Brissett is staying with the Cardinals. 2 names off the board.
Yep.
Marcus Mariota, even if you didn't want him, he was an option, I think. He re-signed with the Commanders. So you are like in terms of the names.
Who's left?
Name wise, Jameis, Russ.
Jameis is still technically under contract.
Is he?
Right?
Is he?
Oh man, what did I think he was? Russ is definitely a free agent. I thought Jameis. It was.
Here's your free agent quarterbacks. Here we go. Free agent quarterbacks. Kyler technically they're not gonna. He's gonna sign with Minnesota.
Jameis technically has a year left on his deal.
I'm just naming the free agents: Russell Wilson, Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, Joe Flacco, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, Carson Wentz. That's basically it.
Zach Wilson, huh?
That's it.
BYU connection.
Yeah.
So thoughts?
He has it. He started games, but if I told you Zach Wilson was starting week 1, are you more confident? Be honest. Zach Wilson winning 1 game week 1, Russell Wilson winning a game week 1, Joe Flacco winning a game week 1, or Jimmy Garoppolo winning a game week 1?
Flacco, probably.
I agree.
Flacco or Russell Wilson?
I mean, genuinely, it's got to be Flacco, doesn't it?
It's Flacco is the top answer. I think Russ is still the number 2. I understand. I get it.
Nah, man, he's a vibe killer. He just like
You think he's killing the vibe with Travis Kelce and Chris Jones around?
He is a black hole of vibes.
All right.
He's the opposite vibe. Awful vibes.
I'm not listing Kirk Cousins because I think he's going to sign somewhere where he has a chance to start more than just a game or 2. And Kirk will be way more expensive. So that's why I don't think Kirk is a real option. If the Chiefs sign Kirk Cousins tomorrow, I'd be terrified that Mahomes is missing 6 games or more. That would scare the hell out of me if they sign Kirk Cousins.
And it's so hard in the free agent backup quarterback market because I always hate the price. Like I saw what Gardner Minshew got and I was like, what? You don't want to pay that, do you?
$8 million?
Ugh. And it just feels like
the Chiefs just got him on a cheap deal last year. Backup quarterbacks can cost that are experienced $5 to $10 million.
It just seems crazy to me. And I understand in a year like this where they might.
What about your guy? Text line wants him to sign Jimmy G just to see you freak out. That's the guy that's played in a Super Bowl. Dang it,
porn star Jimmy, as Stephen A. calls him.
Yeah. When was the last time he actually played in a game?
Well, I think we looked this up. 2024, right?
Yeah, we pulled it up because there was a chance. Remember, he was out in backing up Matthew Stafford for a little bit.
Yeah,
there's a chance he still goes back there. I guess
he'd be fine.
He last played in a game. He didn't throw last. I'll believe this. Last threw a pass 2024. He played in 3 games this year, technically. But he threw 41 passes in 2024.
In a random Sean McVay game?
2 touchdowns, 1 pick, baby.
Oh, okay. All right. And
334.
Now we're talking. Look, my argument was not that Jimmy Garoppolo has no place on an NFL roster. My argument from the beginning is that he overall stunk. But I mean, I don't think I'd say anything different about Gardner Minshew or Carson Wentz or any of the other, or Chad Henne or any of the other backup quarterbacks. The backup quarterbacks for a reason, okay?
Sure.
If Jimmy Garoppolo's the backup quarterback, I'll live my life.
I just want someone with experience that
started
can
80 games.
handle an offense for 2 or 3 games if Mahomes is not ready.
It's not going to be Carson Wentz, right? They didn't seem to like that at all.
No, I'm done there.
Someone says
he looked terrible in Minnesota.
Scoob over on Twitch said I'd rather have Pat on crutches than Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, I don't think has enough experience for me in the league that I would want him in that spot. I understand he has started, but I would rather have. I'm talking like I actually want a 30-year-old backup quarterback. I really do. Like I want someone that's older to be my backup quarterback.
Yeah, that's why I think Joe Flacco might be the answer.
Someone said Phillip Rivers. Yeah,
you got to be careful. Joe Flacco might throw for more yards than we saw all last year.
Fine.
He comes in.
Great.
If you told me week 1, unless they were playing,
might throw for more picks too, but great.
If you told me week 1 the Chiefs were playing, don't pick their toughest game, but if they were playing a decent opponent week 1 and Joe Flacco was the starting quarterback and everybody else was ready to roll, I would say they can win that game. If it was Zach Wilson, I'd be terrified.
It's just hard because for the Bengals, Joe Flacco was awesome. He was not so awesome for the Browns, but the Browns are also a joke.
O-line also stunk. Bengals offensive line was good enough.
Yeah. We perhaps will have the Chiefs press conference coming up at 11:30. They must be eating barbecue or something. I don't know. Let's get a quick trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
Since we've been talking about health this segment, I figured this one can tie into the human body.
Important subject on this show sometimes.
There's a kickboxer that did something for the first time ever that we've never seen before. Okay. You might have heard of people that, like they can carry or pull a car with their teeth. You've seen those crazy. Okay. All right.
Always late night, viewing.
Which it's absolutely insane. Well, this guy named John Stevenson, he's a 50-year-old kickboxer. He made a name for himself. He's the first ever man to pull a compact vehicle. It's a vehicle part of the Volkswagen family. It's called a Seat Leon or something. I don't know.
Okay. Not familiar with it, but that's fine.
He pulled it 50 meters with
his teeth?
Nope. Any other guesses?
His arms?
No. With his testicles. Yeah. Now, he did it to raise awareness for men's mental health issues.
Are there not other...
There's other ways to do this.
Doesn't this indicate a mental health issue in its own right?
He says that when he completed the feat, his quote, I'm just quoting him, his plums were bright purple, but still firing on all cylinders.
And in which way did you test that?
I don't know. Well, what do you think? But what do you think?
I gotta say,
pulling a vehicle with your balls.
I think that indicates a mental health crisis.
Also, way too many things can go poorly. Way too many things can go poorly.
I'm guessing you could eject from part of the plan if things were going there. But what even, the idea of when he brought this up with his therapist, which if he's doing mental health stuff, I'm assuming he has. When he brought up this idea of, I want to bring more eyes on men's mental health.
Yeah.
It's what are you thinking? Like a 5K or perhaps a charity bake-off? And he's like, no. I'm going to pull a Volkswagen with my testicles. And you're like, look, Billy, I'm going to recommend you don't do that. He's a kickboxer. Do something with kickboxing.
I mean, what?
Drew, why are you doing that?
Drew, what would you have suggested this guy do to raise awareness?
You will not decorate my balls, period. I will decorate my balls.
Okay,
no,
you could do that.
I wouldn't do either of them.
Or those things. I think you also suggested...
Yeah, I soak my balls in Epsom salt.
Okay, that would have been another thing to do. That
has a lot of health benefits.
You probably had to do that after.
Yeah. The balls on these people. Yeah, that's true. This guy, he's got some, I'll tell you that. Huh. I mean...
I think they're calling them big balls. They're the giant plastic balls.
Yeah.
Why?
So there you go.
Just why?
There's a little too much.
It says, were there people in attendance? Who's watching this? Were they exposed during the race? During the event?
Strapped to the outside?
Ouch. Oh, it's just painful to think about. That's the trash of the day.
Slightly different than the ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, a little bit different. Up next, Chiefs Red Half Hour. Perhaps we're going to hear from Kenneth Walker and some of the free agents as the Chiefs are expected to hold some media availability. If not, if we don't get to that, we will talk a little bit more about other wide receiver options for Kansas City.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Tune in for the Fan Club every Friday at 1, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, March Matchups fans. BetMGM is offering a legendary experience for you and 3 of your friends in Vegas. Climb the BetMGM Court of Legends leaderboard for a chance to win the trip of a lifetime to Las Vegas to see Haley and Hannah Cavender face off at the Bellagio. Just sign into your BetMGM account, opt into the promotion, then start placing sports bets of at least $10 to climb the leaderboard. 25 winners will take home grand prize packages that include 4 tickets to the Court of Legends event featuring the Cavender twins, withdrawable funds for travel, a 3-night stay at the MGM Grand, and MGM Resorts credit. Make this March one to remember. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offers. Subject to eligibility requirements. Withdrawable bonus dollars for flight money. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $59.99 guaranteed. That's right. Don't just cut back. Stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight you want. Only $59.99 guaranteed with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and lose the weight. Weight Loss Hypnosis, Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Sure Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City, 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Hypnosis, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
So how can a roofer talk about a 30-year warranty on a shingle and then only guarantee his work for half that or less? Workmanship is the most important part. JR & Company's workmanship warranty, lifetime.
JR's there for you. You're always better with a roof from JR.
That's right. JR & Company offers a lifetime workmanship warranty on every residential roof we install. And it's even transferable if you sell your home. How do we offer a lifetime warranty? Our roofers are that good. It kind of makes you wonder about the other guys. From our free online storm damage check to our lifetime workmanship warranty, no one protects you and your home like JR & Company.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Get your free storm check online at jrstormcheck.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a cybersecurity engineer at a publicly traded company.
We've been hacked! They're through our firewall!
How is that even possible?
They got my password.
Please don't tell me your password was password.
It's actually password 1.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour is brought to you by Leavenworth PD. Be a cop, be yourself. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply today at leavenworthks.gov/police. We'll head right out to Arrowhead now as the Chiefs have begun their media availability. We're hearing from a couple of the newest Chiefs free agent signings, starting with the headliner, running back Kenneth Walker.
Because it's a winning culture, you know.
I wonder if his family's like outside the room.
Oh no, it's always there. Yeah, it's a winning culture, you know. Watching over the years, been to plenty of Super Bowls, and you know they know how to win. So I feel like it's a great fit for me.
When you came out of the draft in a year where the Chiefs needed running back, did you have any conversations with them then ahead of the draft?
Nah, not that I know of. I know I met, you know, the owner when I was coming out of college with the Doak Walker Award. We just ended up running into each other, but other than that, I never really had conversations with him.
Can you go back to just that weekend, what that draft experience was like for you, though?
You saying when I got drafted?
Yeah.
It was a lot. You know, you didn't know where you were going to go, what teams were really interested in you. So, but when I did get drafted, it meant a lot to me. You know, going to Seattle. So, it was a great experience.
Kenneth, he's from a pretty decent sized family. Just what does this mean to everybody for you to get this contract? You know, have that generational wealth.
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, all the work that you put in as a kid. You know, and the sacrifices my parents made for me and my siblings. You know, and you see it and it's paying off. It means a lot.
Do you look back at the sacrifices your parents made to this moment?
Yeah, definitely. Always. You know, and my pop's still with me, and you know, still making sacrifices for me and helping me to be better, a better version of myself each and every day.
Kenneth, the Chiefs made it pretty clear that they wanted you once you got to free agency. Just what did it mean because of, like you said, their winning culture, that they sort of targeted you as their big prize?
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, you feel appreciated and wanted. You know, that's what everybody wants. So I'm just happy to get in here and be able to get to know the guys and work.
Kenneth, you've made it to the league. You've won a Super Bowl. You've been Super Bowl MVP, and now you've got the contract. What's that next driving force for you?
Just trying to go get another one. You know, I know we got a lot of great guys on the team. Like I said, I'm ready to get to know them and, you know, just go out there and do my best, you know.
There's a lot of people excited you had with Patrick Mahomes just so far. If you had any exchanges with him, I'm sure he was quick to congratulate you.
Yeah, definitely. When I came here, you know, he tweeted out and, you know, commented on my Instagram too. So, and then we talked on the phone and text each other. So, and I was able to see him today. So it was cool to meet him, real genuine person.
What is it about football that you love?
What is it about football that I love? That's a lot I love. You know, the excitement you get when you go out there and put on the pads, and I'm just.
Sorry about that. We're listening to Kenneth Walker and his introductory press conference for the Chiefs. We'll head back out there in just a second and make sure you get the rest of that. Of course, we'll hear from Gilman and Tonga, expected to as well, as the Chiefs are introducing their new free agents. Drew, are we good? Oh, we'll give them just a second to get back up and going. But yeah, it's a winning culture. They know how to win. So I feel like it's a great fit for me. Says a lot about Kenneth Walker because it's not like he needed to ring chase. He could have just taken the check. Let's head back out and hear from Kenneth Walker.
Just being patient, honestly. You know, you got to be patient. You want you. It's kind of like, I guess, the draft in a sense where you don't know where you're gonna go. But yeah, I would say just really being patient and let my agents do their job.
You said it's good to feel wanted. Obviously, besides the lucrative contract, how did the Chiefs show that to you in the process?
Talking to my agents. I mean, I didn't talk to them. I wasn't able to talk to them much, obviously. So, but you know, when I got my contract finished, it pretty much shows that they wanted me here.
Once again, you're listening to Kenneth Walker here on 96.5 The Fan. Let's we'll go right back out there in a little bit. Full disclosure, I think the problem is it is on YouTube, and YouTube has changed their way they go about things, and now every 30 seconds a commercial pops up. So that's something we're going to have to correct by the time we get to football season, I think.
Combat.
Yeah.
If it were.
Yeah.
But again, the culture stuff is important. Like I said, he didn't have to ring chase.
All right, let's try one more time. We'll go back out
impressive.
There. Agents. I mean, I didn't talk to them. I wasn't able to talk to them much, obviously. So, but you know, when I got my contract finished, it pretty much shows that they wanted me here.
What were the conversations like with Andy Reid?
Oh, it was great. You know, we talked about everything. Not just football. We talked about life, honestly. You know, I like photography, and he knew that, so we talked about that and, you know, all type of stuff. So it was cool to get to meet him and, you know, understand who he is.
How do you think your speed impacted this offense?
I think you make a great impact, you know. We got a lot of guys that got speed on this team and a lot of great players, like I said before. So everybody just going to come together and, as a team.
And historically, this hasn't been a team that's run it a whole lot. Do you think that is going to change with you being
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I hope so. But yeah, I think it will. And you know, those guys up front, they're gonna do a great job. You know, I watched them on film and I got to talk to some of them, so I'm excited to be here.
Does he have more of a desire to play more third downs this year or here?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm sure if you're a competitor, you always want to be on the field. So, yeah, definitely.
How much did you guys talk about halftime, just the style? Because obviously your style's unique a little bit. Just the way you run. Was that a part of the conversation?
Nah, not at all. We haven't really spoken about that. They just told me they like what they saw on film. So.
What does it mean that you're going to be coached by two former running backs, Eric Bieniemy and Marco?
Yeah, it means a lot because they played the position. You know, so their word, I feel like it holds more weight, that much more, because they were in this position before and they played in this league. So I think it'll be cool.
What have your interactions been like so far with Coach Bieniemy? Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah,
He's a pretty intense guy.
He intense. Yeah. The more he talk about it, the more intense he gets. So it's been cool, you know. But you want a person like that who's real passionate about the game. So I'm excited to get to work with him.
How do you picture yourself playing here at Arrowhead?
How do I picture myself playing in Arrowhead? How was that? Wait, say that again?
I mean, how you imagine that, like, getting in Arrowhead, like playing for the Chief for the first time?
Oh, okay, yeah, got you. It'll be surreal, you know, finally getting there in the stadium. You know, I came my rookie year, but I was on the other side, so it'll be cool to have, like, be out there and playing and, you know, seeing all the fans.
And what have you learned so far about Kansas City as far as the culture here in the Midwest?
Yeah, y'all got good steak out here. You know, we went to a steakhouse the other day, and it was pretty good. So I'm excited to get to learn more about the area for real.
Did you? How close was the decision anywhere? Did you really court other teams? Did you have any place else that you really looked at, or was it here?
It was other places I looked at. It was other places, but you know, it wasn't. This is where I want to be.
How much better do you think you can get, Kenneth, with a big opportunity like this?
A lot better. You know, you get put in situations and, you know, get opportunities. I feel like you got a lot of chance to up your game.
Is there anything you want to maybe display here that you maybe didn't get the opportunity, or just with more experience?
I guess just everything, bro. All around. Just want to be a better player.
All right, guys. For Photogs, we're gonna have.
All right, so that was Kenneth Walker speaking to the media. If anybody followed his media availability out in Seattle in the Super Bowl run and even at the Super Bowl parade as well, he's all business. He's usually you're not going to get the
said he's not he's not a big go out guy.
Yeah,
He's go to the facility, train, work out, practice, go home, spend time with his family.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, I'll be honest. Currently, based on the Chiefs' recent history, a refreshing change of pace. I'm not saying people aren't allowed to have social lives. We joked about that with JJ Piccolo Tuesday, where people sometimes get this notion that the only thing they do is football. But yeah, he just seems like a quiet, serious kid, I guess is what I would say. A kid may be too strong, but he's quite a bit younger than me, so it doesn't seem like crazy. How old is he? 24, 25?
25, I believe.
25 years old? That's way younger than me.
Yes, that's the point where we've reached, Cody. Where now there's a lot of players that are going to be younger than you and me. That's where we're at now.
Noticeable.
Yes.
Honestly, there aren't that many players
He's
left
5 years
old as
He's
me.
5 years younger than Drew.
How many players in the league are older than me? One?
You and Calais Campbell, man. And
I
Aaron Rodgers.
I think I'm older than Calais
Yes, you and
Campbell.
Aaron Rodgers.
I think I'm older than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. By the way, we are expected to hear from some of the other Chiefs free agent signings. Apologies for the audio, as we've told you. That is the Chiefs direct feed. This is the Chiefs direct feed, and that is the audio. Let's hear from another member of the Chiefs, their new defensive tackle, one of their defensive tackle. Let's hear from Tonga right now.
What made Kansas City the right fit for you?
Agents got me right with them. And it was a no-brainer for me to come here, and got ties with Coach Reed and with BYU, and system-wise is perfect. So just excited to be here.
Have you interacted with Coach Reed at all?
Say that one more time.
Have you interacted with him at all?
Like today?
No, just before, whether he came through at all at BYU.
Oh yeah, just through BYU. He royalty over there, so. So just hearing all the stories about him and my coach at BYU, that was his mentor. So I'm real close with him. So he talks highly of Coach Breeze. So today I got to meet him, so it was pretty cool.
Harrison, when news of you signing broke, Chris Jones went to his Twitter account and just said you're a dog. I guess what does it mean to hear that excitement from your future teammate?
No, I'm pumped to be able to come in and play next to Chris. I just met him for the first time in the weight room, and he looks pretty mad about last season, and I'm excited. I can't wait to be able to go and be able to help him out and be able to help out the defense as much as I can.
You've had a bit of a journey, multiple teams, but to get this level of contract, to get these years, to know that you're going to be here for a bit, what does that mean to you to have that journeyman type attitude and mentality about yourself and now be able to be consistent in your case?
It was always fuel to the fire for me to be able to go out and each year try to prove it to myself and prove others. And there's no difference going into this season, just continue to prove. But so grateful for Kansas City and for allowing me to come in and have another opportunity. So, yeah.
Chris, what is it you pride yourself on being a defensive lineman, especially one tech like that?
I love being physical. My game is I take a lot of pride in how physical my hands can be. I take a lot of pride in how fast and I can get off the ball. So for me, those are the two things I feel like I bring to the table, and I can't wait to be able to learn from Chris and learn from all the other guys in the D-line room that does everything so well. So yeah, it'll be fun.
What's your favorite thing?
Are you already in Andy's ear about trying to play some offense?
No, I'm not, but that's always.
Cover your hands.
We're listening to Kyrus Tonga speak to the media in his first media availability out of Arrowhead, one of the new defensive tackle signees, 6'2", 335. And the last question there was joking about him maybe playing a little offense.
I really enjoyed it.
We just talked to Kenneth. What's it like to have him on your team instead of having to try to go against him?
Man, he's a dog. We got to see it in February, unfortunately. But super, super happy to be able to be his teammate and not be able to be on that side of the ball game.
What's the toughest part about preparing for going against
Man, super smart, man. Smart back, very patient. Hits the holes when it's there. He can start in the A gap, go all the way down to the C gap, hit all the way to the sideline. I mean, we saw it. Get the runs were supposed to go in. They end up going out. He picked up about 40 yards. So, he's gonna be a fun player to be able to watch. I'm glad I'm on this side.
Couple more.
Kyrie, I know everybody wants to win, but just what did that experience last year do for you in terms of motivation as to like where you might want to take your career next?
I think just it's so hard to win in this league. So I wasn't really thinking about where it would take me. I was just enjoying the moment and the opportunities that we were given, because I know I've been on teams where we won 3 games, 4 games, and so it doesn't come around a lot. And so for me, last year was just a whole lot of gratefulness and just being excited. And now I get to be in the culture where they're used to that. So.
How much does it mean to you that you got a multi-year deal, right? You're not just on a 1-year deal. You're not going from team to team, which has been, much of the case for your career so far.
No, it means a lot, man. It means a lot to me to feel wanted and to feel like that you belong somewhere, man. And it's a pretty cool feeling, man. And I'm grateful for all the teams I did get to be with. But the fact that I get to be here just for a little bit longer, man, it feels good.
Last question, Todd. The BYU connection with Coach Reed. I know you didn't play with Kingsley, but you know him at all?
No, I know Kingsley. He was a young pup. So when I left, he was barely coming into BYU, getting his feet wet, and it was super cool to see him do what he did last year and kind of grow within his first year. And I can't wait to see him and learn from him and grow with each other.
All right, so that was Kairos Tonga talking to the media there. One thing that stood out to me, obviously the BYU connection, but he said he saw Chris Jones in the weight room, I don't know, today, I guess, or yesterday or whatever, and he said that's where they met. And Chris Jones, quote, looked mad about last season.
Like just taking it out on the weight bench at Arrowhead? Look, I imagine this team is going to play with some additional fire. It's kind of hard not to imagine that based on a 6-win season after going to the Super Bowl for 3 consecutive years. You'd think there'd be a lot of like, I'm going to prove it to you. That's all I'm saying. Like you would think out of guys like Chris Jones, yes.
All right, we continue to hear. We'll hear from one final Chief, Alohi Gilman, the new safety. He signed that 3-year, $24.75 million deal with the Chiefs, and he is at the podium.
I've been in a bunch of different systems. Watched Coach Spags from afar, same division. Been trying to figure out what he's been doing for a while now on my own. But I feel comfortable playing both positions, any positions. You want me to hold the T, I'll hold the T. I'll do anything. So just out there to go out there, play ball, and I feel like I could do anything on the field. So excited to be a part of it and help this team win.
What was it about Kansas City that appealed to you to make sure that this was the right place for you to continue your career?
Yeah, I think for me, like as a player, I'm always trying to find ways to grow, get better. Obviously, with Coach Spags on his defense as a mastermind, a guru, I've watched all the clips. I've watched film. I've been in the division. So I'm excited to learn and get better myself. This is a constant evolution as a player. And then obviously just the respect, the winning culture, the championship mentality. Winning cures all things, and it's playing this game if you want to play to win. I love, want to be financially taken care of, all that stuff, but as a competitor, I want to win. So being a part of this and joining up and teaming up to grow, get better, and win games is something that I'm really attracted to.
What's your favorite thing about playing safety?
For me, like I've evolved over the years from college to now. As a young cat, you want to go and just run into everything and hit everything, and you still have that mentality. But for me, it's just the mental part of coming in and finding every way and to gain inches, yards, feet in this game. And that's what safety is about, seeing the whole field, playing that chess match against, the best quarterbacks in the league, the Joe Burrows, the Patrick Mahomes, the Aaron Rodgers, all the guys, Josh Allen. So for me, I love that game. That's what brings the best out of me as a player, as a competitor. The physical stuff is what it is. You're going to come out there and you're going to go and hoop and ball, and that's what it is. But the mental part is as a safety is what, I love playing that chess match. I've had many battles with Mahomes, and unfortunately it hasn't always ended the right way I wanted, but I'm glad to be a part of this opportunity and to go out there and play my brand of football. I did. Had a great conversation with him. Really excited to learn from him, grow from him. He's put out obviously, shoot, a couple of decades of some ballers. Obviously when he was at the Giants, here. So just connecting with him and seeing ways where I could get better and just push my game to the highest level.
Well, it's a pretty young group that you're coming into with some of the guys they've lost. What's just your comfort being the older guy in the room and having that as question on some of the younger guys?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've been there before. I've had some good vets in my career. I also feel like for me as a player, just being a glue guy coming in, building my trust with them first and foremost. So you don't come into a building and just take over and think you're the guy. You got to build it. Trust is earned. It's respected. I've been through some good locker rooms, some good secondary groups, and I think that's kind of another superpower of mine. Just coming in, being a guy, being a player, a teammate, a warrior out there with your guys, and finding ways to help them get better. I don't have a lot of experience with the guys in this room. Christian Fulton, I played with him for a year in LA. But I think the young crew, I'm excited to meet them, be around them, but I got to earn that respect as an older guy. It's always that way, and it's vice versa. So I'm going to come out and bring out that energy to them and, just bring it day by day, and I think we'll be in a good spot.
That's impressive. Playing against Patrick, what is it like playing against him so frequently?
How do I put this? He's obviously talented physically, can do everything on the field. He finds out ways to do some magician stuff at the end, which always pissed me off. But just the competitor, like the warrior he is out there, and you can see it when you're out there and he's playing that game with you and playing that chess match, and he's willing to take risks, willing to be a guy who will lay it on the line. So, excited to play against him more and get to know him more as a person. Had a conversation with him this morning as he's rehabbing. When you're around greatness like that, you gotta appreciate it, respect it. He'll only make me better, and we'll get better as a unit as well.
You had some crossover early in your career with Drew Tranquil. I just was wondering what maybe that relationship is like.
Yeah, Drew's my guy. He's been recruiting me hard here. That's my third agent. So Drew's been doing his thing. I've had good conversations with him, obviously, over the years. Played with him at Notre Dame, at the Chargers, crossed over as well. So much respect for him as a warrior, as a player, as a teammate, just as a friend. So got a lot of respect for him. That's my guy. I'll go to war with him any day. Excited to strap it up with him. And, I'm just really excited about the opportunity.
We'll go Nate, Jesse, Pete. When you talk to Steve, what resonated most? Because it's clear that Spagnuolo has an idea of how to get the most out of talented safeties.
Yeah. Our conversations didn't go too deep. However, I think just him understanding the game on a high level, I think that's what he brings out of players as well. So that's my interpretation of it so far, and I'm sure it'll grow even more. But I think him as a coach, he brings out the best on a high level, not just physically, but mentally as a leader. And that's what this game's about. It's finding those inches or miles. And so I think that part is something that I'm really excited to be a part of. Obviously, he's a mastermind, and, I want to get to that level as well. So I'm happy to be a part of it and to work with him.
We just talked to Kenneth Walker. What are your impressions about him?
Yeah, Kenneth. Yeah, I obviously hung out with him the last day or so and this morning, and remember playing against him when he was a rookie, and the scouting report was not as detailed because he came out running all over. I was like, "Who is this kid?" But man, he's a beast. Seeing him run the ball, obviously, and Super Bowl run, MVP, quiet, unassuming, just baller, and that's kind of me as well. I'm kind of that unassuming, under the radar type of guy. So I feel like we're kind of like-minded, just head down workers. So I got a lot of respect for guys like that who don't, they don't make things too big, too small. They're just about their business. And to have a guy like that on the team is contagious. So I think it'll bring a good energy to this offense that's already explosive and has amazing talent. So it's awesome to be his teammate.
You talked about facing Mahomes. What was it like to do an interception against him?
Yeah. I haven't talked to him about that yet. I'm sure I will. I think that was my first pick of my career too. Played the Chiefs over my first 6 years, almost 12 times ish, and it never worked out in my favor as much when I was over there, unfortunately. But that pick was good. That one worked out. Got the pick, and we won the game. It was here in Arrowhead. Obviously, I'm gonna take that ball and tell my kids that was a Super Bowl pick. But it was great. Obviously, it was a battle that game. I was a young player, trying to make my way, and that was kind of like the beginning of the ascend for me to take that next step. So it really gave me a lot of confidence, made me, helped me take my game to the next step, competing against guys like that. So I'm excited for it, and shout out to Pat for the first one.
All right, so that's Alohi Gilman speaking to the media, one of the newest members of the Chiefs, new chief safety. Spoke a lot about Steve Spagnuolo and kind of he said he's been trying to figure out Spags for a while. Excited to play for him. Also gave a lot of props to Dave Merritt, acknowledging the track record that he has had. Was joking there about Patrick Mahomes, one, how he got the pick, but also earlier in that media availability said that Mahomes would always do some, quote, magic stuff that would piss me off. And now he is teammates with Patrick Mahomes. We'll talk a bit more about this free agent class coming up on the other side right here on What's Trending. Plus an update, Missouri taking on Kentucky in the second round of the SEC tournament. About halfway through the first half. We'll update you there next.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The playoff push is here. NBA teams are deep in the stretch run, and Fanatics Sportsbook is ready for every moment. Here's the deal. You guys have heard me talk about Fan Cash, and remember, every time you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook, you're earning up to 10% Fan Cash, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still stacking Fan Cash. Fan Cash unlocks value you can't get at other sportsbooks, like more bets, unlimited profit boosts for your favorite player props, authentic NBA gear, game tickets, and access to exclusive Fanatics events like Fanatics Fest in New York City. But that's not their only play. The good times roll on with Fanatics Fair Play, an injury protection policy that turns losses into wins. That's right. If you love player props, your legs are protected across the entire first half of every game if an injury takes place. If your guy goes down, you're getting your money back or your parlay plays on. Make the switch to the sportsbook that gives you more to play with. Winning hits different here.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts, with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget. Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wendy's has a new Girl Scout Thin Mints Frosty Fusion with Girl Scout Thin Mints cookie pieces, rich creamy frosty, and a mint chocolate cookie sauce. Which means Girl Scout Thin Mints and Wendy's Frosty, yeah, they're basically best friends now. It's like two delicious desserts just high-fived, snapped a few too many friendship selfies, and then rode a tandem bike down a never-ending road of mint chocolate frosty perfection. So, swing by Wendy's and try the new Thin Mints Frosty Fusion.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Coming to Kansas City, the NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship. 16 teams, 15 games, 6 days, and one national champion. The NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship at Municipal Auditorium, March 19th to the 24th. Get your tickets now at NAIAHoops.com. The Drives Pop-A-Shot Tournament is Wednesday, March 18th at Draftcade starting at 6:30. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. What's trending is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot in Kansas City since 1994.
Number one, what's trending? Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. It is a jam-packed Thursday. One game already going on right now in quarterfinal action. That's 7 Iowa State, 16 Texas Tech. It is about 7.5 to go in the first half. Texas Tech up 23-22. Later on today, it's Arizona and UCF. Then the night session at the Big 12 tournament. I think Mac, Drew, and myself will be out there tonight. BYU and Houston, and then Kansas and TCU scheduled to tip off at 8:30. There's also the SEC tournament going on in Nashville. Right now, the Missouri Tigers trailing Kentucky 26-20 with 6:01 to go in the first half. Plenty of time in that one. It's second round action. Missouri, according to Joe Lenardi, one of the last 4 teams in the field. I think they're in, but a win could get them out of Dayton, Ohio. They lose, I think they're going to be playing in Dayton on one of the opening nights.
One of the other upsets to watch, and I guess we'll get to in a minute, is currently Miami of Ohio is trailing by 4 with just 9 seconds to go.
That is 31-0.
UMass. So
31-0 Miami.
Yeah,
Ohio.
keep an eye out on that one as well. Next up on What's Trending, Italy did help the USA advance to the knockout stage of the World Baseball Classic. Those games will start taking place on Friday. The U.S. will take on Canada tomorrow. Italy will take on Puerto Rico on Saturday. Seth Lugo, the Royal, taking on Jack Caglione and Vinny Pasquantino, who had 3 home runs. We'll talk about him in just a minute. In the World Baseball Classic game last night, an all-timer, first 3 home run game in the World Baseball Classic ever. All jacked up on espresso during the game, but also helped the U.S. advance to the next stage as well. Thanks, Vinny.
Elsewhere, former Kansas City Chief Orlando Brown Jr. signing what he says is a 2-year extension. It was reported as a 1-year. He is representing himself. He tweeted out today saying a 2-year extension with Cincinnati. So he was making sure. He was upset with how it was reported. I don't know. He claims it's a 2-year extension with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Whatever. That's fine. I mean, it's an extension in the sense that he had 1 year left on his deal and he got 1. So it just depends on, like baseball, sometimes they call it that, right? Like when they gave Vinny the new deal. Next up on What's Trending, an Aaron Judge 1-of-1 card sells for a record, or a modern day record. Let me be clear. $5.2 million is in the first modern card to get that kind of dough. It was a 1-of-1 superfractor that he had signed as a part of an original box. It had shown up gold early this year at a card show. Somebody was trying to sell it for between $10,000 and $20,000, and a card broker said, "Hey, my guy, I would not do that." He said, "If I gave you $20,000, would you sell me the card right now?" Is the story. And the guy said, "Yeah, you can have it." He's like, "Don't do that. Bring it to an auction house. It's worth more than that." It just sold for $5.2 million. That guy's got to be thinking every day that that guy had a conscience, right? Well, if you knew something you could buy for $20,000 with $5.2, is it your obligation to tell somebody it's worth $5.2?
It's not your
obligation.
Well, yeah,
you can do it, but you don't have to.
Yeah, it's not your obligation. I'd have to be in the moment. It depends on what that interaction was like, but it's definitely not your obligation. Props to that person, though, for doing that. By the way, the game just went final. Miami, Ohio, losing to UMass today. They get their first loss of the season. This was a UMass team that is 16-15 on the season. Let the debate begin on whether or not they should be a tournament team. I've told you I absolutely think Miami, Ohio still should be a tourney team, despite a quarterfinal loss.
For Missouri, this is bad. You don't want
correct.
a team like that in the mix.
Now there's going to be another team, potentially 2 teams from that conference getting the dance. That hurts any team on the bubble,
including Auburn.
But I have no problem. I'm actually literally my brother-in-law is texting me arguing right now about Miami, Ohio. He doesn't think they should be in, and I think he's not alone. Miami, Ohio, this will be the debate. I think Miami, Ohio should still be in. I don't care who you played. If you're 31-0, now 31-1, Division I basketball in a conference, I have no problem. I have no problem with you getting in. Now, they should be docked significantly seed-wise now.
Sure, make them go play in Dayton if you want.
Sure.
The last 3 teams, by the way, to start 30-0. Gonzaga, who lost the national championship in 21 and 22. Kentucky, who eventually lost in the Final Four. And Wichita State, who lost in the round of 32. So it's not like those teams start 30-0. Weirdly enough, this makes me think that they would have a better chance of actually winning a tournament game or two, getting that undefeated monkey off of their back. I understand they got a really, really, really soft schedule.
Yeah, terrible schedule. Terrible schedule.
But even still, 30-0. But still, really bad.
We'll see what happens. I would rather have them in than 17-16 Auburn or whatever they are. So
yeah, they're 6 wins in the SEC. Good for UMass, I guess. They're going to have to win a lot more games to still make the tournament, though. Somebody else will.
That is UMass, who is still coached
Frank Martin
by Frank Martin. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's still coached by Frank Martin. So
I didn't know he's at UMass.
Yeah, after he got let go by South Carolina, I don't know if he took a year off, but he's been at UMass for 3-4 years at least now, maybe.
Okay.
And they did not have a good season, but to his credit, they found a way to win. We've been talking about with Miami, Ohio. They have been able to squeak by, but they just lost to the 8th seed UMass. I mean, 8th seed in that conference is,
Now,
Now,
that's a bad basketball team, yeah.
Yeah, so now who knows who's going to come out of that conference? We'll see.
Akron finished 17-1.
John
Their
Gross,
only loss
man.
was against Miami of Ohio.
His name has come up for some openings too.
Was he one of the names mentioned for the K-State opening or no?
No. His name did not come up.
Utah State and maybe a few others. I just couldn't remember if he was one of them.
But yeah, his name has come up for a lot of the recent openings in previous years. Missouri's also going to have to watch New Mexico. New Mexico is the other bubble team that they're going to have to pay attention to in the Mountain West.
Yeah, they have to.
San Diego State and New Mexico, yeah.
But this goes back, I don't know, like sometimes for me it's when it's ancillary or when it's fringe. Can't we just pay attention to teams like Missouri who have beaten several top teams in the country, including Florida, and give them an edge? And I understand like Auburn technically, but Auburn also doesn't have a winning record in the conference and barely is above 500 and all the other stuff that goes
There's
in
a real chance that, I mean, depends on what happens in the Missouri game. There's a ton of time. They're down 8 right now, but there's a lot of time left. But it's not a great start for Missouri. If Missouri loses, we were just talking about Miami, Ohio. Like, there's a chance we get Missouri versus Miami, Ohio in Dayton. That could be potentially, depending on how this committee sees it. We could see Miami, Ohio versus Dayton. That should be a good thing for Missouri is in terms of the opponent. I would like them to win quite a bit in that game, but we'll see how it plays out. It's always a debate with the seeding stuff, like what team is better? Because someone says 17 and 16 Auburn would destroy Miami, Ohio. That's not the point, though. At some point, we have to count. Like this goes back to the football argument, and this
Wins
is 60,
should count for something.
This is 68 team field, so I definitely don't have a problem with a 31-1 small conference school getting in when there's 68 spots. I know there's not 68 at large spots, but there are 68 spots in the tournament. I have zero issue with that. If you're a bubble team, I don't care whether you're KU, K-State, Missouri, Auburn, whoever. I don't feel bad for bubble teams. I just don't. It just is. You had all season long to make your case, and there's 68 freaking spots. So you didn't do enough to get in if you didn't get in.
Yeah, I agree. And but you're right. It's a lot of the way they talk about college football. Like, well, who's better? Is it who is the small schools that were getting into the James Madison? Yes, I assume a team who is not Missouri, who didn't make the college football playoff, probably beats James Madison. That's not the point. Wins should count for something. They should matter for something. Otherwise, just create a super league, and it's just about the standings and those things. It's like college football is the only sport that is against wins. It's like it's the college sports, like basketball and football, the only ones where the argument for wins is lessened. It means less somehow. You know, we don't take away wins if you're in a bad NFC South. We don't take away wins if you're in a bad AL Central. We don't erase your wins. They still count whether you play a bad opponent or not.
The scheduling should, in net ranking, all that stuff should matter when we're talking about, ultimately the seeding, right? Why is one team that has 29 wins a better seed than another? Well, yeah, that's where you factor in the seeding. Why a team should be a 5 seed instead of a 6 seed. And there's always disagreement on how the committee plays that out. I'm just saying, if you're one of those teams that are on one of the final 4 at-large spots in the tournament, and if your resume is dicey and you get left out and another team that resume was dicey got in, I don't feel that bad for you is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. And again, they put them in and things happen, and then it's always like the justification or non-justification. Some years, those bad teams they let in immediately get eliminated, like maybe Miami of Ohio just gets crushed by somebody in Dayton. And then sometimes they let in those mediocre teams we think we have no business, like that Syracuse squad, who eventually, I think, went to a Final Four. So it's not like I'm not saying Auburn can't go on a run. College basketball is very once you get past the first 6 teams, there is not a massive gap between team 7 and team 50 this year in college basketball. There's a lot of similarities, so we'll see what happens.
Big 12 tournament coverage presented by Busey Bank, the official bank of the Big 12. We'll keep an eye on what's going on at the Big 12 tournament and, more importantly, what's going on at the SEC tournament, at least as of right now. Kentucky has opened up an 11 point lead on the Missouri Tigers, 35-24, 3 minutes to go in the first half.
It was 20-20, I think, at one point.
It was.
15-4 run for the Wildcats. Let's talk a little bit about the WBC. You and I both were not actively engaged in the World Baseball Classic in the early few games because all of them felt like blowouts. Even hell, the U.S. is a heavy favorite tomorrow. I think they're minus 800 to get past Canada. So it didn't feel like there'd been a lot of juice. The last couple of games where you get the U.S. losing to Italy, Caglione hitting a home run, them not realizing they could be eliminated, and then, of course, last night, Vinny Pasquantino stepping up to the dish and smacking 3 home runs for Team Italy while simultaneously putting the U.S. in the knockout round for the World Baseball Classic. Okay, I'm in a little. You got me bought in a little. You got to keep me engaged, but you do have me in more than anything. And I saw, I don't want to take it too far. You and I are not typically those for hyperbole or anything like that. The morning show was talking about would he be a captain on the team when Salvi's done. They haven't had a captain since Mike Sweeney before they put the C on Salvador Perez.
That only happened a couple of years ago.
I don't think they would put a C on Vinny before they'd put one on Bobby, let's say. I don't think they're going to put it on either when Salvador Perez retires, for whatever that's worth. But it's unquestionable. Watching Vinny Pasquantino in this World Baseball Classic, he is a leader. The 3 home run game part of it is cool. He is a leader who leads by, he drives people to want to be successful. He is good with his teammates. He is well liked by everyone in every clubhouse he's ever taken part in. And, he even got emotional during part of this towards the end. And he was fun at the end, right? When he's just when he's saying he's all beamed up and talking about the 3 shots of espresso. He's fun and likable and affable. But it's just he is good at motivating people around him. I have always felt like him and Salvi have been at the heartbeat of the team the last couple of years. Bobby is the best player. He's one of the 3 best players in the league. I think he's the 2nd best player in the league behind Shohei Ohtani. But he's one of the 3 best players in baseball. And so, obviously, he gets the lead by being great. Vinny is a great clubhouse guy, in addition to being a great baseball player. Obviously, the 3 home runs, that's just fun. That's just like a cherry on top. Did you enjoy the postgame from him? He's riding all kinds. He's riding high.
I did. Right, yeah, he's having a great time. And the personality, though, we've all seen in Kansas City. We've seen in the clubhouse. We've heard it on this show.
We're lucky
he's doing a bunch of national interviews today as well. And that's probably, for me, the coolest part of the WBC. We've talked a lot about how much the games matter or don't matter. Now they're out of group play, so that the stakes are higher, and that's fun. I will once again say last night's game was not competitive, so that continues to be my issue with the WBC is the games are not that good. Last night was fun because the highlights were cool.
Because
the sound bites were
plays for the Royals.
Exactly. As a Royals fan, it was cool because every time I checked my timeline, there was another home run from Vinny Pasquantino.
They
and
made
I
me
was
live tuned into the ninth to see if he could hit a 4th.
And I was getting texts from people in other markets about Vinny Pasquantino just because they know he plays for the Royals. And the whole storyline around that team has been a lot of fun. And the biggest moments, other than maybe the Dominican Republic, have been moments that involve Royals players. It's Bobby Witt Jr. having the great day at the office a couple days ago.
Michael was 4 for 4 yesterday.
Michael Garcia. It's Vinny Pasquantino. It was Cags the other night with the rocket home run that he hit. So that part has been very, very cool. And I think moving forward to this weekend, let's see if we get USA-Italy again. I know USA plays Canada tomorrow, and then Puerto Rico plays Italy, which also has a member of the Royals and Seth Lugo pitching. So that's kind of cool.
I will say, one of the seeming themes of the World Baseball Classic has been the Kansas City Royals. They have been the team at the front of the center of this thing, right? Or are we just seeing this through a Kansas City lens? Michael was 4 for 4. Do you realize how many Royals are in the quarters? It feels like it's been a very Royals-heavy WBC. I'm not saying, and then, other than you mentioned, the Dominican Republic, who has been on an absolute mission. They'll take on Korea tomorrow in Miami. The U.S. takes on Canada. And then, like you said, Italy and Puerto Rico on Saturday, and Japan and Venezuela on Saturday. And then we'll figure it out. By by Tuesday, this thing's wrapped up, right? Did you realize how quick it wraps?
It's quick now. I thought we had a couple weeks.
No, Sunday a semifinal, Monday a semifinal, Tuesday done. That's it. That's why some of these guys are already going back. And this is still the part of the tournament that I think is weird. And that, who was it? Paul Skeens was making an advocate for it and changing it. They want it like the way European soccer does it, like a mid-season tournament, but it's this. It is still the world. And that you schedule it with 8 to 10 teams instead of the amount they have, the 8 best, the qualified 8 best, and they take on each other around the All-Star break, the way that we're talking about doing the break for the Olympics. So every other year, there's an Olympic break. Every 2 years, there's an Olympic break or a break for the WBC, essentially, is their argument. Do they need to move it when? Because it's weird when Waka just left the U.S. team. Yarbrough just left the team. We talked about earlier, it's like it doesn't feel like everybody is in the same mix. But it definitely feels like, absolutely feels like, that the WBC feels very Kansas City.
All right, let's get to a little all 32. Typically we do this during the season, but every couple weeks we do it in the offseason of the NFL, and we will get to that right now and talking about some of the moves that have been going on in the NFL. My question is, what's the best case scenario for the Jets with Geno Smith? We know they traded for their former top pick. After he left, found success in Seattle, revitalized his career, great story, went to the Raiders. It was a disaster when he rejoined with Pete Carroll. They move on from him. They got picks for him. The Jets brought back Aaron Glenn. They keep Breece Hall. The numbers last year for Garrett Wilson, their wide receiver, were what? He didn't have a catch since middle of October or something. They did not.
That was weird.
They did not utilize him. Best case scenario, this is why I would have just started with a brand new regime, because you let Aaron Glenn go out there and hire a brand new coaching staff. I think that was a mistake. Best case scenario for the Jets is what? 6-11, 7-10. Hell, the Jets win 7 games. That's a huge bit of improvement.
Honestly, isn't the best case scenario is that Geno Smith gets a little closure on the way his career started? I don't even think it's like a win or loss thing. Like for Geno Smith, the best case scenario is he just gets a little closure on how bad his career started, how he came full circle, and maybe helps the Jets win a few games instead of being a laughing stock at quarterback. Their problem is, Gold, is they feel like they're stuck in no man's land where they do have enough talent on offense and defense that I think that they're delusional enough that they're like, why can't we be Seattle? Like, why can't we just turn these things around a little bit faster? Because we have Garrett Wilson, because we still have Breece Hall, because we still have some of these defensive players and high draft picks. Why can't we be like that? And I just think that's a mistake. I really do think that's a mistake. For my all 32, I want to talk about Tua. And I thought, like, initially I liked the signing and everything, and it made sense other than the weirdo, they have 2 left-handed quarterbacks, which feels very odd. And I don't know, like, throws me off in some weird way. This is going to work. I am not here to tell you that Tua is a top 20 quarterback even. The amount of weapons they will have with him, if they can even cobble together a semi-competent offensive line, Tua in Atlanta is going to work.
Oh, this is going to work is what you said. I thought you said it isn't going to work.
This is going to work. Dome stadium, weapons, speed, fast. And even though it's not like a perfect fit with Stefanski's style of offense, he is a good offensive mind. And so between all the weapons with him, again, if they can put together anywhere close to an offensive line, I think we're going to be at the end of the season saying, this was a surprisingly good year from Tua. I'm not saying like a generational year, but like the kind of year that like when Sam Darnold had Minnesota, we're like, wow, maybe there's some light there. They might end up talking themselves into signing him long term, which might not be the right choice. But I think it is going to work for Tua in Atlanta. Do you?
They got weapons. We know that. They have weapons. He did have success with Miami despite how bad it ended. Kevin Stefanski has gotten bad teams to the postseason. It's not a great division. I could see him looking serviceable. I mean, I think to where he's just middle-of-the-road quarterback again. I don't think we're going to be sitting here in December of next year saying Tua is playing like Sam Darnold, as in a guy that's a top 10 quarterback in football by the end of the year. But I think he could be perfectly fine, middle of the road, elevates what they've been getting, because they've been getting very poor quarterback play at Atlanta.
Yeah. 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 picks is what Darnold had this year.
Yeah.
I think Tua could easily do that. Now, maybe not the 35 and 12 he had his first year in Minnesota, but...
Yeah, I don't think Tua will be a top 10 quarterback at the end of the year, but yeah, middle of the road.
You think it'll work okay? Drew, what do you got?
My all 32 is that I think the Titans and the Commanders are having the best 2 free agent periods right here, one in each conference, obviously, with what the Titans have done, and the Commanders, they've spent some bigger money, but like the Commanders, it feels like are just finding little, they're not overspending necessarily, they're finding a bunch of solid middle-of-the-road contracts that they're bringing in of solid players, good players that are going to help elevate that roster to be as good as they can be. Same thing with Tennessee. They're trying to build a roster around Cam. And even though a lot of the signings, if you look at the Titans, have been more on the defensive side, that I think is also just the same as part of the battle. You got Robert Saleh coming in, and then you draft offensively. I feel like they're finding a balance for that, it seems like.
Feels like Jeremiah Love's going to go to the Titans at 4.
Yeah,
up with Tajay Spears, and then you draft another wide receiver as well. You got Wan'Dale Robinson and Calvin Ridley.
Look, I agree with you with Washington, who I also thought had a good free agent signing period last year, and they didn't. So, like, sometimes I don't want to get fooled by the money. I like some of the moves they've made better this year than last. Titans just feel like, and I could be way off, they just feel like they're spending money because they have to. I don't actually feel like any of their moves made any kind of difference. Too much for Wan'Dale for me, too much on some of the defensive linemen. They just feel like a classic, not just overpaid, normal free agency overpaid, but like added an extra 20% on top of that just to pay the premium to get these guys.
I mean, they had the space, and also I think for the same conversation regarding the Chiefs and stuff like that, who Wan'Dale was maybe one of the better options they even had anyways in the first place. I mean, maybe you trade to bring A.J. Brown back, I guess. But along the same lines, I just wonder if they're, you know what, this is how we're going to address free agency. A lot of better defensive players in our mind. Jonathan Franklin-Myers, Jermaine Johnson we traded for, one of the best defensive lines. I feel like they're bringing... It'll be interesting to see what they do in the draft, I guess. Because if Jeremiah Love's the guy, you pair him up with Spears and then 2 solid wide receivers, let's say you draft another one, they might be built more like the Green Bay Packers, where it's a good running back room and a solid quarterback. Not as good as Jordan Love, but the wide receiver room is all just a bunch of solid weapons, not necessarily a number one.
We can maybe talk about tomorrow. As you bring up Tennessee, and if, in fact, Jeremiah Love is their pick, and then as you said Spears' name, I forgot that Tony Pollard is still under contract. If they end up cutting him to save money, that's a guy, 3rd or 4th wave, I would love as another running back option in for Kansas City that wouldn't cost you much at all if they end moving on from him. He signed a 3-year, $21 million deal with the Titans. But this year he's making $9 million, and they could save, what's his dead cap? $2 million. They could save $7 million. The Titans could. If you're going to draft Love and you have Spears, you might just punt on Tony Pollard.
Yeah, agreed.
I wouldn't mind him as a number 2, number 3 back in Kansas City. You could sign him on a pretty inexpensive deal if he got cut.
I'm really curious to see exactly what they think of Brashard Smith, because if they think he's a true number 2, they won't spend a high draft pick and they won't pay for a guy like Tony Pollard. If they're still just thinking he's a occasional use guy, well, then they'll put some other competition there with him. Similar to the way they did last year, just use Brashard Smith and spot starts.
Coming up next, we'll get a halftime update for Kentucky and Missouri for second round action of the SEC tournament. We'll also get to the random question of the day and talk about some of the free agent wide receivers that are still out there.
Watch Cody and Gold on YouTube by subscribing to the 96.5 YouTube channel. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. When you see a Gravely mowing the grass, you're looking at over 100 years of ingenuity in action. You're seeing a rugged, durable machine professional lawn service companies have relied on for generations. Or maybe you see a homeowner who demands the best, cutting their own lawn like the pros. Whether mowing or on a trailer between jobs, when you see a Gravely, you're seeing greatness at work. Take your lawn mowing up a notch with a Gravely. See the full line at your local dealer.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800 894-7722.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel great. Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose the weight or stop smoking. Only $59.99 guaranteed or your money back. Hypnosis, Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Sure Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City. Lose weight hypnosis, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
JR & Company, the only roofing company offering a free lifetime warranty on workmanship and a free shingle upgrade that can save thousands in future insurance premiums. Locally owned, veteran-owned, and family-owned. Call JR today or visit jrstormcheck.com.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister, now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary.
If you need a new appliance, this is your sign. Shop at Lowe's now to get up to 35% off and next-day delivery on hundreds of major appliances. A new appliance now means an easier to-do list later. Our best lineup is at Lowe's. Valid through 3/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Order by 4 p.m. Available Monday through Saturday. Subject to availability. Fees, exclusions, and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/appliance delivery for more details.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
He got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... Let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Brought to you by Kalshi. Trade on anything. The film awards are almost here, and now you can trade on what happens. Who wins Best Picture, Best Actor? Chalamet is at 50%, while DiCaprio is at 7%. A potential 14x payout. Download the Kalshi app. Use code FAN to get $10 when you trade $10. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back here on Cody and Gold, we'll get to the random question of the day in about 8 minutes or so. A little update on the SEC tournament. Is halftime now in Nashville. The Missouri Tigers trailing Kentucky 38-29. Missouri shot just 37% from the field in the first half, 2 of 7 from 3. Kentucky shooting 48%, 2 of 11 from 3. So Missouri going to need a run here in the second half. Again, I think they're in even with the loss. It's just you want to avoid going to Dayton. I think they need a win to avoid heading to a first four.
No, I think you're right. Honestly, it's kind of hard to not make the argument for it just based on what we know about where they've been up to this point.
And then in the Big 12, I think Drew was keeping an eye on this game. I had a chance to really watch it. I only see the box score, so I don't know what's significantly happened. But Iowa State at halftime up 36-33 down the road at T-Mobile Center on Texas Tech. It's the first game of Big 12 action today. And, Iowa State's got a great crowd in support of them in this first game. And then later on tonight, BYU in Houston. We got Kansas taking on TCU as well.
Can't wait. You're going tonight, right? You guys are both going tonight? Drew, you're going after the show?
Yeah, Mac will be there as well. All three of us will be out there this evening. I'm planning on getting there to see the first game, too, because I'm excited to watch Houston and BYU play.
I think Darren should be motivated if he can he should be motivated by DeBonta and what he's been doing.
We'll see. I mean, AJ's played great.
He's
in
been
the first
incredible.
2 games of the Big 12 tournament. He's been awesome.
Struggled a little bit early yesterday, but he
finished strong.
Yeah, figured it out.
He dropped 40, didn't he?
Well, the first game.
2 games
He's,
ago.
talking about yesterday. Yesterday was a slower start.
It was one of the
but,
grind out games at West Virginia. The way that they play stylistically made it tough on him.
Against K-State, that was the 40-point performance. That was awfully impressive. But it should be great atmosphere down at P&L and T-Mobile Center tonight, man. Someone texted earlier. We saw your text. We had already moved on to another topic, but someone said from the 620, taking my 9 and 7-year-old sons to the KU game tonight. Bought $100 tickets on the upper deck. Are those decent seats? Never been to T-Mobile. It's a steep walk down to the seat, but you'll be able to see.
There are no real bad seats at T-Mobile.
You'll be able to see just fine from up there. It's a steep walk down from like the entry point, if you will, but from where the seats are. But when you're there, T-Mobile's a great out.
Even sitting up in the perch, like in the press box.
That's a ways up there.
It's a good. You can see everything. Yeah.
The press box is a little. The press box is. They're not quite ants yet, but it's getting close once you get up there.
Drew, they used to let us sit mid-court, man.
We were spoiled as well.
You'd be sitting behind Fran Fraschilla, sitting half court.
We got spoiled.
There's a photo of Alex and I before we even knew each other, sitting right next to each other.
We didn't know it at the time.
At a Big 12 basketball tournament game.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm convinced there is no bad seat in the house in a basketball arena. You can, maybe even in the cheap seats, you can get a good view.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's cool you're taking your kids though. It's a Big 12 tournament. It's spring break for some kids starting today or tomorrow. So it's gonna be a late game. I mean, the KU game will not start on time because they just never do with the Big 12 tournament. That thing's getting over at 11:30, 11:15.
Well, seems generous, but
tonight,
yeah, probably around that. We'll see. Kansas has got a lot on the line too from a seeding perspective, as in
get off the 5 line.
Yeah, trying to get back into the 4 range, a little safer place to be. Typically, historically, huge.
You don't want
difference.
the 5-12 match.
Yeah, historically, there's a huge difference between.
I mean, who was it? Jerry Palm we had on earlier in the week, and he in his bracketology had 5-seed Kansas, 12-seed Northern Iowa, of course, playing. He even laughed when we brought it up. That's just having some fun. I feel like at that point.
Isn't I thought he still is. Frukmanesh still coaching?
Yeah.
Is he coaching that team?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's Ben Jacobson is the head coach there at Northern Iowa.
I just thought he was like coaching a team. I feel like I saw his name.
He is. He's at Colorado State.
Colorado State. Okay. I don't remember why, but just because that was probably one of those tournament memories that stick out.
It's an all-time moment.
Locals get upset, you just kind of remember.
It's an all-time moment, and unfortunately for KU fans, it's a name nobody likes to hear. But yeah.
You know what?
It's the same thing. Missouri. Like I always remember Norfolk State beating Missouri.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how it goes.
I don't have
KU losing to VCU. I mean, these are just the type of games that you remember as a sports fan, or even whether you're a fan of that school or just in this area. Like you can remember those type of moments.
The big ones for the locals. I just want to remember one tournament game for UMKC ever. You know.
Well, Mark Turgeon, get this thing
going. He was
going.
on the morning show this morning talking about the program.
Yeah, did you see Dusty? They had a funny moment this morning.
I think he might not like Dusty.
I think Dusty was trying to joke around, as Dusty, of course, always does. And he was joking with Mark Turgeon because I think I'm paraphrasing here. I don't know the exact story. Essentially, Mark Turgeon was talking about how many people were at the announcement that they had earlier in the week. Yeah. And he was joking that I think the athletic director, Dr. Martin, must have like grabbed or paid people off the street or something. He was joking. And Dusty's like something along the lines of like, if you pay me $50 or something, like, is essentially what Dusty said. And Mark Turgeon was like,
no.
So matter of fact.
Shut that down quick.
No.
Tough. Dusty, can't be having this station get on the wrong side of UMKC.
No.
I'll be on campus later. You think Turgeon will be walking around? Get him to come talk to the class?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Start a podcast with Mark Turgeon? One of my students sent me.
There you go.
I'm not starting a podcast with
Grow up.
You know.
That was Bob telling you to grow up. Grow up.
Me or somebody else?
I don't know. You
grow up.
Yeah, I'm sure it was directed at you.
They save more clips from our show in their folder than us, so I don't.
Sometimes, yeah, they're big on just giving all the other shows crap. It'll come back around. Don't you worry. It'll come back around.
Are we just waiting?
We're waiting for our moments. Yep.
Let's talk a little football, and then we'll get to the random question coming up in about 5 minutes from now. But you had asked me a question, I think it's more than fair to ask, which is, if they get through this free agency period, having signed no real wide receiver, Does that just mean they think they're okay with Rice? My initial instinct is probably, but couldn't that just mean that they're thinking they're taking wide receiver at 9? Because one way or another, Tate, Tyson, or Lemon will be available at 9. Not all three, maybe, but one of them will be, right? I did see Mekhi Lemon's like unofficial 40 time at his pro today was maybe a little slow. It was like 4.48 or 4.5. So
okay,
I don't know, relatively a little slow. Not that that really matters. But one of those guys will be available. Maybe they're just thinking that, because otherwise, the only other thing it can mean, Gold, besides that is they are higher on Xavier Worthy. You had mentioned earlier, Drew, Wan'Dale Robinson. I've mentioned Alec Pierce. There are 2, 3, 4 examples right now in the NFL who have taken that kind of leap that Xavier Worthy could take in year 3. Should we be thinking about Worthy more as like a true 2, 7, 800, 900 yards being plausible for him? Because that would be the thing that would at least change it for me.
Yes, I think it is still wide open for his career. You know, I think based off of last season and the injury that he suffered 3 plays in for the shoulder that required surgery after the year, the ankle injury that he reportedly had, maybe some other injuries, plus just this offense that never got going. Then eventually Mahomes, as we all know, gets hurt. I'm willing to have a slight mulligan on 2025 for Xavier Worthy. But year 3 in 26, this is everything for him. There will be no more excuses after this season. So heading into this year, do I think it's plausible he can still be a 700-800 yard guy? Absolutely. We're gonna find out this year one way or the other. If you're saying have they not signed anybody at wide receiver other than Thornton because of that, maybe. I truly think it is telling us a little bit about how they feel about a potential consequence and punishment coming for Rashee Rice, unless they go out and sign like Jawan Jennings in 3 days or something.
Well, then they think Rashee Rice is...
Yeah. I mean, so we'll see. If we're a week or two from now and they haven't really signed anybody and we get down to the really, lower tier wide receiver market, I would call it, and they sign someone and then they draft somebody at 9. Like them drafting a wide receiver at 9 to me, honestly, like I know you might think that means that they feel one way or another about Rice. I think they might need to do that no matter what, because
that might happen
Rice is probably not getting another contract, period.
I don't think so.
So you need to start looking ahead, and the draft is, of course, a great way to build that. So I think their free agent actions might tell you that they feel better than we do on the likelihood of him missing a significant chunk of the season.
Look, for Xavier Worthy's case, the motivation's going to be all there because it's not a contract year, but it is a contract year in a way that these guys who have taken year 3 leaps to even 700 or 800 yards. Jawan Jennings didn't take, he got to 900, right? The year before, he got to 650. You don't have to take some huge number to get $20 million a year, $25 million a year. Get Alec Pierce's number. Again, his numbers were worse in his first 2 seasons for the Colts than Xavier Worthy's first 2 seasons with Kansas City. So, he is still playing for, a huge dollar amount down the road is Xavier Worthy, whether that be from the Chiefs or some other team. Now, they spent a first-round pick on him. My assumption is that if he does take a leap forward, they'll be willing to keep him in-house and continue to pay him. Maybe not, but at least feels that way at the time. I don't know how you couldn't think that Rashee Rice is at least at a 50% risk of missing significant time. How could it be better than that? He's already been suspended before. This thing is in the court process now. Never a good thing as far as not getting suspended. I just feel like the NFL's going to want to do something with Rashee Rice.
I think it's a little bit less than 50-50 only because it's gotten so quiet. There's been nothing since the day the civil lawsuit was filed. And I'm not expecting there to be a resolution in the court case for a while. That's the civil. So that could take, years theoretically. Yeah. I'm just saying the way, you know how this goes, man, when whether it's criminal or civil, and when it comes to athletes, when there's a ton of public pressure and noise, it usually forces some sort of response or action. And frankly, because of time, it's now kind of died. There's not nobody nationally is talking about it anymore. Nobody locally. When we're talking about it in the context of signing a receiver, but nobody's really it's not in the news cycle, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, credit to him or his PR team. They've gotten it at least quiet on that.
They play the game of hoping that it just settles down. I'm not saying right or wrong with what he did, but the point is from an NFL standpoint? Are they more likely to act when there's just constant noise around it? I think so.
I think so too, but also the last one was kind of quiet, right?
Well, that one they were waiting for they were waiting for the charges to be pled guilty or not,
Sure,
or whatever.
I mean, I just think his PR team is pretty good about mum's the word.
I swear his Instagram account had to have gotten hacked 2 weeks ago. Did you see he kept promoting some random game for people to click a link and
No, I think
download?
he's probably broke.
There's no way he was promoting some random app for a game. It looks so fake.
He needs money for legal fees.
I mean,
oh no, it's sketchy as hell. I saw the one. It was
you know what I'm talking about? It looked
one of those
scam. It looked
fake
like a scam.
casino-y scam apps. Come play bingo and win money.
But he wasn't even recording a video. It was just a photo of him with a link. I thought his account got hacked. You think that was real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about how much money he's made and how much he must owe lawyers.
He definitely owes money to a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just public knowledge. It's
Settlement
not
stuff.
I'm not trying to get anybody's wallet, but that's just pretty evidence. We all have the documents. He still reportedly has not paid out the suit from the $100
as of last week,
the $1 million from the last thing, and then he's facing serious allegations in a civil suit now, plus, as you said, attorney fees.
It's crazy that if the second one had not come up, I'd still thought he was maybe a cheap extension candidate, or maybe just an expensive extension candidate, because people are like, well, the accident's behind it. But the second one, it's who's going to want to be near him? Look, I get it. We're talking about Brandon Ayuk here in town too, right? Because I saw his personal wide receiver coach, which happens to be former Bengals wide receiver TJ Houshmandzadeh. He was doing an interview thing. He has called himself his personal wide receiver coach. Even he said, man, that's kind of messed up what he did last year. And he ought to you got to mind your business a little bit. Yeah, you just left the team in the middle of a season and just decided never to return again. Kind of a problem for Ayuk. I could see why teams would be scared of that.
Sure.
But also that's why if you're the Chiefs, you're would you take $4 million and come on down, for a year and see what happens? And if you quit on us, it's only $4 million. At least it didn't cost us anything.
I just think it's another headache. That
could be.
I would not. If I was a Chiefs fan, I would be over the headaches of Rashee Rice, of Josh Simmons, of Brandon. I would not. That's why I think A.J. Brown, it sounds great. I don't want any single solitary chance that
I get it.
A.J. Brown could be yo, man, stop throwing the ball to Travis Kelce. I'm open. Give me the ball. Any solitary chance of that happening, I don't know if I want anything to do with it.
Did it feel like the Chiefs signees who all talked today are exactly what Drew's talking about, though? They were all clean as a whistle. Football guys show up. They all are football guys, toe the line, show up, work, no problem. And most football players are.
I was just getting ready to say,
it just felt like a heavy dose of it today.
I don't disagree, but as you just said it there, and I was about to say it. Look, Rashee Rice deserves every bit of criticism he gets.
Yeah.
Let's also be fair. 98%, 99% of everybody else in the league is not getting into trouble.
Yes. Correct.
You know what I mean? I want to be very
even fighting with coaches a lot. Or
getting into
things,
trouble, being a headache like that. I know it feels like it's happening a lot, and the Chiefs have had a terrible track record here recently. It's their own doing in large part. But let's not act like a majority of the players on this team or any team are that. That's all.
I don't. But it just felt like they got a heavy dose of we're football guys and that's all we do.
Yeah, it seems like they got some guys that were I think it was Gilman that mentioned kind of underrated, under the radar type of guys that have used that as motivation, and it's paid off for them in a big way.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to put it.
Random question.
Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. We are continuing to keep an eye on the Missouri game. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the show. But for you, Gold, you, Drew, the text line, 913-586-7965. And, of course, not over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, where we live stream the show. You can interact with the show over on YouTube and Twitch. We'll continue to stay in the chats and do that. Coming up in about 10 minutes, I guess Stephen A. was going after our guy Vinny. So maybe we'll see what he had to say.
He was joking about his comments in postgame.
So we'll have a little fun with that. I'm going to ask you guys a personal question. Been a little while, been a couple weeks since I asked one for
Let's go.
Random question of the day. And I mentioned it to you briefly before the show, but we might as well take this to the people. Good or bad idea? I have been asked if I am interested or willing to coach my son's youth basketball team. As you know, I was trying to get
personal for us, not personal to help you out. That's what...
No, personal help me out. You seemed excited at first.
Drew was right. Drew was ready.
All right, let's go.
I've been asking a lot more deep personal questions.
Drew wants a personal question.
You're right.
Yeah.
The question is, should I consider coaching my 7-year-old's basketball team? Is it a bad idea? For those of you who have done it or have seen others do it, is it a bad idea? My biggest concern is not even coaching the kids in any conceivable way, even though that concerns me some. I don't think I want to deal with any parent ever under this circumstance.
Parents are problematic. So I would say in general, yes, you should do it. How cool is that to coach your son? And at this level, it's not serious yet. It's very, as you even said, lower level, basic. Just have fun. Make sure every kid's playing the same amount. It's not competitive yet. If your son was like 13, I'd say hell no. I'd say no. I would say run away. Yeah. You don't want to coach that team. Your son's 7. Yeah, that's a cool memory for you and your son to have.
What if he
for
says
a year
he doesn't
or two?
want me to?
Well, then don't do it.
Should I ask him?
Yeah.
Should I get clearance from the 7-year-old?
Yes.
Hey, would you like me to coach your
honestly,
basketball team?
I do think you should ask him. Hey,
because if he doesn't want me to, then he might not enjoy it.
Correct. Yeah, I think you ask him, but he's young enough where I think you could do it for a year or two. And then if it turns out where he really loves it and he wants to get in more of a competitive atmosphere, then I would let somebody that's more qualified to coach. Yeah.
I would ask him first. Yes.
Did your dad coach
you wanted to be the UMKC coach, and now you're questioning whether you can coach your son's team.
Not whether or not I'm capable. It's the parents.
Cody, yes.
UMKC's coach. I don't have to deal with the parents.
I just think you better make sure that playing time is equal for every kid, because that's where you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Drew, you said my parents did not coach me in anything.
Yes.
Your dad or your mom?
My dad. So technically both of them, but my dad more so over a longer period of time with baseball. And he would ask, it was funny enough, I got used to assuming, I guess my dad's just going to be my coach, but he would ask me every year, are you good with me being your coach?
Oh, he gave you the opt-out every year?
Every year gave me the opt-out. Every single time I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
I'm not saying this about you, Drew. I will say, I've played on a couple of teams with the coach's son. That kid was always a turd.
Sometimes
every single team I ever played for, man, I hated the coach's kid.
Sometimes
I gotta say that is concerning to me.
I think that I think there's a level of, if you treat it fairly for everybody, then it's cool. I do think there's also a level of the way that we did it, at least in the league that I grew up playing in, is you would have a draft in a way where you would be able to, they'd put kids into a pool, they'd pool everybody out. And if your son was there, you're your kid, because there were girls that played baseball for sure and were freaking good too. So whoever your kid was, if they were on your team automatically, then you got to draft players. This situation, I'm sure, is not that. But do you know if Desmond's friends are on the team? Like, are friends of his going to be on the team, or do you not know yet? Because I
don't know his teammates. It's not his friends. It'll just be like stranger kids.
Because I had some good friends that I grew up with who also were a part of the team where they knew my parents, and that also, I think, helped the chemistry, if you even want to call it that, at 10.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're talking 7-year-olds, man. I imagine we're mostly just dribbling around cones.
That's why I think you should do it, is because they're young enough to where I think truly that point, it's just making sure the kids are having some fun and the parents feel like their kid's getting a chance to play. If you do that, you'll be good. It's a great memory for you and your son. If, as I said, if it gets like 3 years from now, then I probably wouldn't want to do it. When parents start thinking their kid is way better than the other kid and wondering why their kid's not playing more than this kid, then it gets way into the political side of it, and parents are starting to really become a pain in the ass.
They said they don't become. Most people in the text line are saying they're not a pain in the ass at 7. Yeah. It's once you start getting in like 9 or 10, and people like
teens,
have an opinion that like, youth sports get hyper competitive way earlier than when I was a kid.
I agree with that.
It was still like rec stuff when I was like 9 when I was a kid. I just go play Little League baseball with my team, and it was like, there was always a couple new kids who just signed up for the league and didn't have a team, and most of us carried over, but not every single player, but like it felt lower stakes when I was a kid.
Sorry, it's the text. That's great. Someone said Cody's going to have the High School Musical version of his basketball team. He's going to have the team singing during practice.
You know what?
We're all in this together.
I mean, legitimately, kids who play at 7 years old. What games are we talking about? 9 to 7?
What do you mean? What's
the final score?
It's
8 to 6.
It's better than that.
It's got to be more.
It's better than that.
You sure?
It's better than that.
Cody, hold on. You said
they play in an 8-foot goal.
8-foot goal, and you said, or how long are the quarters? Like 5 minutes?
I didn't.
Running clock usually. Usually a running clock.
Yeah.
I would say it's in the teens or low 20s.
In fairness, it's a low commitment for me. It's 6 weeks, and they practice and play in the same day. It's like an hour, and they practice for like 40 minutes, and then they play for the final 20.
Yeah. Okay.
So like it's not like some major commitment that I'm.
You should do it. Try for a year
for life.
Try for a year. I would ask Desmond if he's cool with it, and if he is, then I would do it.
It said if I coach that they'll let me. He can do one for free. I don't know if that's a benefit.
Well, there you go. There's your motivation.
That's not enough.
That's where. Yeah.
Honestly, that means you're grossly underpaid. Like, what was it? Like $150 or something? It's like you're an underpaid coach. I'll say that. I'm not gonna be there anyway.
Yeah, this is all volunteer stuff, right? You're not. There's no.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like until you get to like, maybe if you're an AAU coach, you get paid. But if you, for the most part, I would just say you're.
I mean, I'm assuming we're mostly just working on like dribbling, like that's more important than an ability to shoot.
Yeah, layup lines. You might do a little 3-man weave action.
Careful what you say, man.
Layup lines? Are they doing my kid can't.
Please, Papa.
Yes, you're doing. I did layup lines at 5, 6, 7. You're doing a layup line. They might not all go in or look great, but you're doing a layup line.
I got to figure out what.
At the very least, you can do a layup line.
Do you think they give me a handbook?
No chance.
I think it'd be easier to coach an adult because I understand.
Just go online if you need to look up a couple of drills you should be doing in practice.
If you, Cody, I
you must be your assistant coach.
Are you going to be my assistant coach?
No, I don't know about. I will give you drills. I will give you some practice drills. I'll even. You know what? Are you going to be the coach that has like the Are you going to have like the dry erase board, or are you going to have like the the whistle and everything like that at practices? Is that where we're going with this?
He doesn't need a whistle.
Is that where we're going with this?
I'm going to be coaching like 7 kids. There's no way I need a whistle.
All right.
I think I could just like.
I just wanted to know how. I want to know how dedicated you would be to it.
Someone says, "Cody, watch Hardball and Coach Carter to prepare."
Coach Carter.
Hardball with Keanu Reeves.
I'm assuming you're not. You're obviously not, you're obviously not running plays at that age for sure.
No, you just teach them to pass and dribble.
Yeah. There's a concept.
And for some of them, the rules.
I don't think we're setting picks.
No,
maybe
I really don't remember if I was learning pick action when I was 7 or 8, but I think I was to some extent.
I mean, how else are you supposed to get open? Nobody dribbles fast enough to like get all the way around kids at that age.
Some kids are, which is where again the dribbling and the ball handling, Cody. Some kids are faster than others. You can handle the ball as you move a little bit. Yeah. Just don't have them foul baiting, please.
How short are they?
Just don't have them.
You'll be fine.
Please don't foul bait.
Someone says, Cody, please go full suit on the sidelines for games.
Oh my
full suit would be actually pretty epic. That'd be pretty epic.
That would be so ridiculous.
That would be epic. I do think you need the dry erase board.
Wrong sport.
I do think you need the dry erase board.
I'll consider a dry erase board. Maybe that comes with the whistle,
That's the random question of the day. I think you should do it. All right, up next, 1 o'clock hour. Let's get you an update on what's happening in the SEC tournament with the Missouri Tigers. We'll talk more about what wide receivers are getting in free agency. And it is a Snitch Line Thursday, 913-586-7965. Something you have seen around Kansas City. Something you've done. Something you need to get off your chest anonymously. You can do that during the Snitch Line.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
The playoff push is here. NBA teams are deep in the stretch run, and Fanatics Sportsbook is ready for every moment. Here's the deal. You guys have heard me talk about Fan Cash, and remember, every time you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook, you're earning up to 10% Fan Cash, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still stacking Fan Cash. Fan Cash unlocks value you can't get at other sportsbooks, like more bets, unlimited profit boosts for your favorite player props, authentic NBA gear, game tickets, and access to exclusive Fanatics events like Fanatics Fest in New York City. But that's not their only play. The good times roll on with Fanatics Fair Play, an injury protection policy that turns losses into wins. That's right. If you love player props, your legs are protected across the entire first half of every game if an injury takes place. If your guy goes down, you're getting your money back or your parlay plays on. Make the switch to the sportsbook that gives you more to play with. Winning hits different here.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is an important message for anyone struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. Due to ongoing inflation, job loss, and the rising cost of living, many Americans are facing overwhelming credit card balances. If you're drowning in credit card debt, you may qualify for powerful debt relief options currently being offered by National Debt Relief that can significantly reduce what you owe. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a debt consolidation loan. You could qualify for this debt relief option and only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. Act now to see if you qualify. With thousands of 5-star reviews online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, National Debt Relief has helped over 1 million consumers with their debt that qualified for this relief option. So don't wait. Call the Debt Reduction Hotline now. Dial 800-428-5757. 800-428-5757. That's 800-428-5757.
Coming to Kansas City, the NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship. 16 teams, 15 games, 6 days, 1 national champion. The NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship at Municipal Auditorium, March 19th through 24th. Non-stop college basketball action at a ticket price good enough to bring the whole family. Get your tickets now at NAIAHoops.com.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I need a little range, step to the range, come on, meet me at the range.
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Coming to Kansas City, the NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship. 16 teams, 15 games, 6 days, and 1 national champion. The NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship at Municipal Auditorium, March 19th to the 24th. Get your tickets now at NAIAHoops.com. Burns season preview show is Thursday, March 12th, starting at 6 o'clock, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go.
Oh my goodness.
I do feel like we should have a soundtrack for
right here.
Drew has seen High School Musical, but not Forrest Gump.
Correct.
As someone pointed out in the text
That's
line.
his age, man.
Zac Efron. Yep. Corbin Blue.
We got so tied up in the random question, we missed a Chiefs signing.
They did sign
Vanessa Hudgens, yeah. Anyways, sorry.
The Chiefs did reportedly sign a corner within the last 10 minutes or so. You were telling me he missed all of last year. Who was the corner?
Kader Kohu.
Okay.
He was an original drafted pick from the Miami Dolphins. He played 3 seasons. He actually was there for 4 seasons, but again, he was hurt all of last year. Made 38 career starts for them, played in 47 games.
He's 27.
So he's very healthy for those first 3 years. I'd have to look up his Pro Football Focus numbers. 5'10" corner, 200-pound corner. Again, originally drafted by Miami, but at least bringing in a corner.
Okay.
But missed all of last season, but made a lot of starts. Obviously,
Another body.
I think I would view this as the Joshua Williams replacement.
That's probably fair.
Not the Trent McDuffie or Jalen Watson replacement, but I do think the Joshua Williams replacement, or maybe some combination up there from that end, is probably about right. But yeah, at least brought in a corner on that end. They had to bring in a corner. The same as I feel like they have to bring in a defensive lineman and bring in, at some point they got to bring in a defensive lineman and bring in a wide receiver. We'll see which one they do. But
I don't know if either of you guys are subscribed to Pro Football Focus. They won't let me view past last year unless you're subscribed, and I'm not. So
I'm not.
I do not pay. I do not pay for PFF. They will never get my money.
To see,
they will not get my money.
He was an undrafted player, by the way, in the 2022
at A&M,
and then ended up starting 38 games for him. So started a dozen his rookie year. So
in 2024, so he actually went to he went to D2. That's where he was at. 2024 had 33 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 picks, 8 pass deflections.
Okay.
In his career,
I'm not going to pretend to act like I know who this guy is.
I don't either.
In his career, he's got 148 tackles, 3 picks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries.
Again, I think it's the Joshua Williams replacement.
Yeah.
I also trust their eye for corners.
Seems like it.
So I assume at least this guy started 38 games. He started each of the first 3 seasons
Sure.
he played in Miami before he got hurt. So he is a player who started a number of games for them. Not every single game for them, but a lot, including starting pretty much right away as an undrafted rookie, which is usually a pretty good sign that you found a little bit of something if a guy like that's playing. So it's a signing. Yeah, like you said, Gold. I don't think we need to pretend like it's a massive signing at the moment. But maybe this will go down as one of those other ones. Benjamin Solak said, like this signing a lot, inside-outside versatility. Toughness of Spags' corner needs, as he put it, does not preclude them from drafting a corner early at all, but a good gamble coming off the injury is the way Benjamin Solak.
Little flyer on a guy that was hurt. Okay. Someone pointed out there was an article from 2022. First 2 weeks of the 2022 season, he was the league's best corner, according to Pro Football Focus.
Wow, what a sample size.
4 years ago, first 2 weeks of his career, he was the best corner in football. There you go. Boom.
If that's the best you can dig up, I feel worse.
Yes, and someone is correct. Yes, he was on the Dolphins last year. So there you go. Signing for the Chiefs happening today after they already introduced a bunch of guys.
Don't forget, you got 10 minutes to get your snitch line complaints in 913-586-7965. You can hit us up on the YouTube chat or the Twitch chat, where we will take all of your deep, dark secrets.
Briefly, let's update people. SEC tournament, Missouri in action, second round, looking to perhaps get off the seed line of being in the first 4, and they are down 56-44. Actually, Missouri just hit a 3-pointer, so it's back to single digits. Down 9, 56-47, 12-12 to go in the game. Turn the ball over way too much.
Yeah, very sloppy. They're lucky it's back down to 9 at least, though. It got up to 14, 16.
They banked in a 3 about 10 seconds ago.
Did they call bank?
I cannot confirm or confirm whether or not that was said.
You know? Usually when it's for a 3, nobody's trying to bank in a 3. Not unless
See, they can tighten this up. If they can get inside like 7 minutes and have this down to 5 points or something like that, then you feel decent. But back up to double digits just like that already. So
we'll pay attention to it as that thing winds down. But again, let us know on the Snitch on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or of course over 913-586-7965. I looked at the wide receiver market and the defensive end market because what I heard a lot from the people who did not like the Kenneth Walker deal was, oh, look at all these people you could have had. Look at these players you could have signed. Why wouldn't you want this instead of that? And I was starting to look at it from like an impact perspective for the next 2 years. And for the price of wide receivers, I do not think you get anywhere close to the level of impact of wide receivers that you would get for Kenneth Walker's price point. Look, I can mention a bunch of different names if you want, but like Darius Slayton, Khalil Shakir, a 32-year-old Cooper Kupp, that's essentially what you're looking at for the price of Kenneth Walker. So the question is, would you rather have Cooper Kupp on this team this year, or would you rather have Kenneth Walker? And would you rather have Khalil Shakir on this team? Or so I don't choose an old player. Maybe you wouldn't prefer that. Or would you rather have Kenneth Walker? Cooper Kupp had 593 yards last year. Not saying he didn't matter. I bet Khalil Shakir's numbers were very close to that. And I like Khalil Shakir. I think he's a nice player for a team. He had 719 yards last year, 820 the year before, 611. Yeah, okay, he's a perfectly fine player. Kenneth Walker is a more everyday impactful player than that. Those are the kind of numbers that, like, maybe a little above, but they're like Hollywood Brown was putting up and we were massively disappointed in. It's like asking, would I rather have Hollywood Brown on this team or Kenneth Walker? Kenneth Walker. For the price, it's always going to be better.
It's just where wide receivers and, for that matter, defensive ends are at in the NFL. It's the whole positional value, why you'd rather pay the highest priced at running back in the free agent market than potentially the highest price or the fifth best available free agent at defensive end or wide receiver. And this is where it pays off way more for you if you hit, and it's a big hit if, but if you hit on a wide receiver in the draft or defensive end in the draft, the payoff is that much greater for you because of the cost effectiveness, which is why I have no problem with them spending a large amount of money on Kenneth Walker because they can allocate draft resources towards wide receiver and defensive line. And yeah, it's not a guarantee they get it right, but the payoff is that much greater. It is easier for me to solve running back in free agency than it is defensive end or wide receiver. It just is.
Defensive end, it's even worse, by the way. I just like for what it, like maybe that doesn't matter to it either, but if you're just saying you'd rather have that. Bradley Chubb is the only one where I'd say
I would have signed him.
Yeah, but like you would get them for about the same price. So like that's at least a position where you could say, well, maybe I'd rather have him, right? Maybe I'd rather have Bradley Chubb. But like, at the same problem, is a 6.5 sack defensive end more valuable to the Chiefs at this point than a 1,100 yard back?
Depends on what you believe. This is where you and I agree. I think Drew disagrees with us on just how to build out the roster, and that's fine. Fundamentally, I think his answer would be he'd rather have the 6.5 sack guy.
This was weird for me though because we argued over this on the show once about paying T. Higgins versus paying for a defensive player. Why was it that T. Higgins? Like I'm just maybe change your mind. Maybe it's a different player. Whatever. Wide receiver versus running back. I'll listen to the argument.
That is the
but
reason.
Like I was like you were saying I don't care. Like because. Alex and I at the time, and you could throw the same thing back at us.
Yeah.
Alex and I at the time are like, are you nuts? They can't play defense. Now, in our case, the Chiefs weren't a very good offense. They were a better defense. So my argument is still the same.
Yes.
They need more help on offense than they need help on defense based on the last 3 years worth of performance. It was the opposite in Cincinnati's case, but you still wanted to pay T.
Yes, because I think, one, the level of player at the position that they were, because again, we've talked about it so much. The running back is not a premium position. I would not spend that money in that way on that position when I know that you can get one that is not as good maybe as Kenneth Walker. At least Jeremiah Love I think would be better than him immediately, but third, fourth round, not as good as Kenneth Walker, but you pair that up with another guy that's cheaper in free agency and you can make it work where, the Chiefs throw the ball more. What did the Bengals? The Bengals actually ran the ball, I think, less than the Chiefs did actually with how they run their offense. I would 100% pay T. Higgins more than I would another running back in free agency. That would be the only big difference. Plus, I do think that it has been different a little bit just because of the way that we've seen things materialize here in free agency, where you lose Leo Chanel, you lose Trent McDuffie, you lose Jalen Watson, you lose Brian Cook. All of a sudden, what made that defense really great over the last few years, those guys are gone outside of really Chris Jones. So I think that's part of why I also would want to bring in Bradley Chubb, where I know that you're not getting the level of production from an impact standpoint with just the individual player. But for the money, you could dedicate the resources for Kenneth Walker to maybe work out something where you use your cap space and that extra $6 or $7 million to go and get Boye Mafe or Owe or somebody like that.
Those guys are making more. Owe was making $25 million a year, you know?
I understand
it's
that.
It's not an extra 7.5 because it's still got to pay the 7.5.
Or you pay Javon Hargrave to pair him up next to instead of Tonga. Like, I think there's you can find a way to build the defense, to rebuild it essentially, which I think now
I think they're going to do that through the draft.
But Hargrave is like a 4-sack guy. It's like, would I rather have Love and Hargrave, or
you'd rather have
Kenneth Walker and Bain? And it's like Bain,
I'd rather have Chris Jones, Hargrave, and Bain than I would Kenneth Walker, Chris Jones, and Tonga. And maybe
they can still get Bain.
Maybe.
But it's no different than what you just said. I mean, it's the same.
Yeah, Bain's still available.
I understand that, because I think in the same conversation, though, we talk about how wide receiver is such a need. That's why, again, I would have used the money to pay Wan'Dale Robinson, because you don't have to worry about taking a running back at 9 because you can get one in the 3rd round. Now what is presented to them is, do you take an edge rusher at 9 still? Yeah. Or do you take a wide receiver at 9?
Could do either.
Because you haven't addressed either position from the standpoint of what you need to do to help the offense going forward.
But they wouldn't have addressed running back if they hadn't signed one too, you know? So.
They now, again, it's just a different philosophy on how to build it out. I would argue, like, the offseason is not over. So, like, this idea of, like, their defense is, like, it's not a finished product. We all agree. Nobody's disputing that. Yeah. They are going to have to address it in the draft. To what extent, we will find out. I like the fact that running back, technically, even though I wouldn't hate it if they spent a pick later in the draft on one, they're good. They don't have to touch running back. That is one thing completely checked off the box. They still need to address wide receiver. I would have argued, even if they signed Wan'Dale Robinson, who I did not want them to sign, they could still be in play to take one at 9. Like, their wide receiver, you can be drafting 1 or 2 every single year and try to build moving forward. They have 3 picks in the top 40. They could spend 2 of those on defensive line, and we're having a completely different conversation.
It's also not a good draft at running back. Shouldn't that be factoring into this decision? It's not. Jeremiah Love's good, but the rest of the backs is like weak by comparison to most drafts.
It's very risky if you win in the draft. If you didn't think you could get Jeremiah Love at 9, and then you were relying,
that guy in the 30 might be
it'd be fairly risky. Someone was asking, why are we excited about Kenneth Walker? We went through it on Monday. I would say again, they have no explosiveness in the pass in their backfield
stuff.
And so 33 runs of 10 or more yards for Kenneth Walker. The Chiefs did not have many runs over 20 yards. The ability to run between the tackles, which is the strength of your offensive line. We gave the full breakdown if you want to go back on Monday. Seriously, we went through a bunch of different numbers, but
a lot of it's the big play running.
Simply put, it is the explosiveness of Kenneth Walker compared to what they had. That's why.
Ultimately, I think the reasoning behind it is knowing what the Chiefs do. I know that obviously you get Kenneth Walker and you get more explosion. It helps Patrick Mahomes out a little bit. I think that I would be willing to use that 3rd round pick, which they have not done before. It's been, of course, Clyde, but it's been 7th round guys.
Oh, yeah.
I would use the 3rd round pick on a guy and look at potentially having a player that collectively a room that brings more explosiveness than paying a player that, for all intents and purposes,
this is just a running back thing for you.
Yeah, but are we sure that? Yeah, I think partially it is, but I also think it's the system that they run. Where are we sure? I know that Kenneth Walker split carries, but are we sure how much more of a workload is? Let's say they don't even. Let's say they bring in somebody in the draft as well. I don't know. And that room is Brashard Smith, the new pick,
they likely will.
And it's Kenneth Walker. How much in terms of a collective involvement of the running back are we going to get? Than we did last year. We're going to get more. We're going to get as much running back usage as Seattle. Is that because I think that the way Detroit and Seattle and some of these other teams utilize their running backs is different than the Chiefs do, and that's why I would be hesitant to pay that back because he's not going to be utilized the same way Jahmyr Gibbs is or something like that.
I would agree with that last part. I'm with you. I guess I would push back then. Like if you were someone banging, and you kind of were banging on the drum to draft Jeremiah Love, then the argument you just used against Kenneth Walker, I would say you can't tell me then Jeremiah Love would have been your pick at 9. And don't tell me money because it's only about $2 or $3 million less than Kenneth Walker overall.
Jeremiah Love would get paid $7 million, I think, in year 1. You're paying,
but he's a running back. Why are we wasting that high of a value of a pick?
If you're telling me they're not going to use it.
In the offense doesn't matter.
Then, well, again, I wouldn't take Jeremiah Love at 9. I've said this from the jump.
I thought you had said.
We all have talked about defense. I am taking defense first. The one thing, in terms of the running back conversation, would you rather have Jeremiah Love or Kenneth Walker? That I thought has been the I'd rather have Jeremiah Love. You save $7 million in year 1. The guy's already a better player than Kenneth Walker, and then you use the $7. I am willing to say it right now. Jeremiah Love, day 1, will be a better running back than Kenneth Walker Jr. than Kenneth Walker the third will be.
So one thing I will point out about, like you mentioned, the run. Obviously, Seattle passed the third least amount. I actually think that's a benefit in the argument for Kenneth Walker, in the sense that in order to get to the 20th most carries, they had to have. Everyone's like, he was in a 2-back system. He's in a 2-back system. Yeah. They ran the third most amount in the NFL. Of course, they were in a 2-back system. They ran it all the time.
That's why the Lions did it with Gibbs and Montgomery. Yes.
But Kenneth Walker will get he will get the same number of carries for the Chiefs, but they will be more of the total percentage of their carries. So he'll actually matter just as much for the Chiefs. I think it's a good thing, right? You're pinning as a negative goal. I view it as a positive. He's going to, let's say he gets 220 carries. Instead of being 50% of Seattle snaps, it'll be 65% of Kansas City's. Same carries, same production, same things in play. Yeah, he just gets more of Kansas City's carries. They just got to split off less.
I also think a lot of it is going to be if you have the threat of a legit running back, that is going to change everything to the offense. There's going to be times
that
where,
is a huge part
and even on a play in which Kenneth Walker doesn't get the football, if he's having success in that game, it ends up benefiting Rashee Rice or it ends up benefiting somebody else in the wide receiver game. Again, this is why every GM is different, right? Like we just would view how to fix the team differently than you would, and that's fine. It's a differing opinion. I just think if the argument is that, it's a lot of money for a running back, I think the point Cody was trying to make in this whole segment is, and the reason why we're talking about it is, for $14 million can get a top 10 running back in football. For the same amount, I would get the 35th. I'd get the 35th best defensive end,
or the 50th best wide receiver, probably.
Wow, that might be a bit strong, but yeah, not too far off.
Are you sure? I mean, it's like
Wan'Dale Robinson. I just have zero interest in, so I'm not. Trust me, I'm not sweating the fact the Chiefs didn't go spend $17 million a year on Wan'Dale Robinson or whatever the dollar amount was.
Like Wan'Dale probably ranked in the 20s of most receiving yards in the NFL last year, but nobody thinks he's. Let's say he's the 30th best wide receiver. I don't know. But that's not even, Wan'Dale got more. So, he's not even the example. It's more Khalil Shakir and the guys who finish in, the 700-yard range, which would make you the 50th best. Rashid Shaheed got the same amount of money as Kenneth Walker. He was the 50th best wide receiver in yardage last year. Kenneth Walker, even with his split carries, 150. And I'm not saying that equates to what we think about the players or whatever. Khalil Shakir finished 44th. Romeo Doubs finished 43rd. It's that or a top 10 back. And for me, it's I like the value better at running back. And to your point, Gold, the one big thing, which is if this convinces any team to stop putting too high safety at every single snap against the Chiefs defense, then it might completely unlock and change things. Missouri is on a bit of a run, by the way. They got this thing
down to 5.
Closed down to 5 with 9 minutes to go over in the SEC tournament. So what was as much as a 14 or 16-point lead for Kentucky is down to 5. Missouri does possess the ball. So, coming up after the break, we'll definitely make sure to get you more of that information as well.
All right, let's get to a stitch line. 913-586-7965. We do this once or twice a month if you're new to the show. This all started all the way back with the NBA snitch line, essentially around the bubble and COVID. And we've had some fun with this for the last 6 years or so. And anything you've witnessed, anything you've done, anything that you want to get off your chest.
Do you already have your
586-7965?
Do you already have your fake excuse ready to get out of work next Thursday and Friday?
Oh yeah, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing to be able to go watch some hoops next Thursday and Friday? We might have more details on that next week. We might be somewhere next Thursday or Friday, so that'd be fun.
Yeah,
go ahead.
From the 913, saw Cody at Oak Park Mall a couple Sundays ago. I was there a couple Sundays ago. Leaving the store, dribbling a basketball, tried to cross over, breaking some random stranger's ankles. I did not do that.
Okay.
I told you yesterday, in admittance of my own snitch line, I had to resist the urge to swat the shot of a third grader yesterday.
You blocked a third grader's shot.
I had to resist the urge. I was tempted to block it.
You can't be a coach.
He was blocking my kid's shot over and over again, who's 3 years younger than him. I thought, little taste of your own medicine, maybe. Some of the older kids took care of it. I didn't do anything. I just sat there and told him to stop blocking my kids.
From the 620, texting the snitch line. I went and bought tires, they say, at a Walmart. They pre-ordered them online. They did not scan their phone when they went to get them installed. Someone, the guy says, didn't know I picked them up, ended up getting a total refund after 2 weeks, then bugging me to come back. Tire up that I already picked up. So they messed up and they didn't scan it.
They didn't realize they gave him free tires.
Yeah.
They kept saying, they gave him the refund. They're like, hey, man, you can still get your tires. You're like, no, I'm okay.
Well, that's their fault.
That happened one time at a, I didn't realize until I got home, but I was buying a bunch of stuff for a bathroom project in my old house. Yeah. And they forgot to scan. I was standing there with huge sheets of concrete wetboard for the bathroom right there.
Yeah.
And I paid for everything and I left. And I was like, well, that's a little, I got home and I was like, that felt a little cheaper, but I don't remember what the board was going to cost. They hadn't scanned any of that. The whole cart's worth. And I was like,
someone says they're getting a vasectomy next week. That is always the funny article that comes out. That's the most popular time of the year that men get a vasectomy is the Thursday and Friday of the NCAA tournament. That's been a well-known thing for a while. That's what people do.
Would you guys get a vasectomy?
Cody's already got kids and stuff. He might as well.
Sure. I don't care.
That's what I was.
It makes no sense for you or I to at this point.
My wife had to have surgery after a second kid was born. We had decided before the kid was born that depending on how labor and delivery went,
sure,
I would just go get a vasectomy if needed. I might still get one. What do I care? Probably around this time, right? Like everyone else. From the 417, I'm a fantasy commissioner and I have not paid out the winning check.
What is going on?
Already?
What are you doing?
Dude,
what are you doing?
March 12th.
For fantasy football? Yeah. All right. Are you stealing the money? What are you doing, man? It's March.
I think that'd be the question I'd be asking the commissioner. Did you steal this money?
Honestly, you should not be allowed to be commissioner anymore.
You've been the commissioner for a few leagues.
Oh, yeah, for
years. What's the payout time, a week?
Yeah, it's usually the week after the season or sometimes that week. The latest I've ever paid out, I think, was 2 weeks, and there was a good reason for it. Many years, somebody, it was a bigger price league, and somebody somehow I let them get by without paying, and I was waiting for money or something.
So you're waiting for the check.
But in general, no, you pay them out right away within the week.
I think you have to. Yeah.
Someone said snitching on what is this one? Saw Drew running shirtless at Target. I asked him why. He said he had to work on, quote, them gains, even when the weather is bad.
Them gains, man.
Shirtless at Target, huh? Wow.
I have not.
They feel like a no shirts, no.
I have
no shirt.
Yeah, everybody agrees that commissioner is done. But yeah, be shirtless at Target. Keep going. Snitch line, a few more. 913-586-7965. Someone says, did Gold end up winning his? Did he have to split with the second place guy? Oh, no, that worked out in my favor very nicely. Mm-hmm. That whole debate about
that was lopsided, wasn't it? Or
that was
that?
That was the guillotine league. Remember, there was a nice prize on the line. My team was projected to win. We were debating whether I should agree to chop it, and I said I didn't want to. And the first night, you guys were texting me saying I was an idiot because Puka got 40 points, and all of a sudden I was only projected to win by 3. I ended up winning by 25. We were good. We got our money. It was good not to chop.
Or on the snitch line, for the past 4 years, I've been working remote for a company as a 1099 contractor. Started a W-2 job in December. Neither knows I'm double dipping.
Ooh.
2 jobs at once.
Okay.
I mean, if the job is getting done for both jobs,
yeah,
what do I care?
This person said from the 816, we pay out at the following year's draft.
Oh, that's crazy.
So they wait till August, essentially. They wait 6 months.
What's this person putting in a low-yield savings account? Can you? We're holding out the cash for that long for?
Why is everybody agreed to wait till the draft the next year? Is it just your hope that it keeps people in the league from not leaving?
My league allows us to hold money if you want.
Well, I can carry over the winnings.
Yeah. So in our league, it's right. The buy-in is $120.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't win the league or whatever. I was a champion the year before, but I didn't win it. And I think I had 2, because we do high score of the week or whatever. I had a couple $100. I'm like, yeah, save the buy-in money. Send me the rest.
Yeah, so
right? That's
exactly.
fine. That's different.
Yeah, that was how another league that I'm in, I finished second or whatever. It was like $600. It's like, you can carry over to your next year's entry fee if you want. I said, no, I'll just take the money now. I'll pay the entry fee down the road.
That's future Alex's problem. Everybody likes to do it a little bit different.
Yeah. All right, that's the snitch line. We got more coming in, but we're going to run out of time here.
Maybe a few on the other side of the break.
Yeah, maybe we'll check in on that. We'll also continue to keep an eye on the Missouri Tigers, who are on a nice little run trying to come back and get a win against Kentucky in the SEC tournament. That's coming up next.
Cody and Gold.
I'm just telling you the facts.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5, The Fan.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
So how can a roofer talk about a 30-year warranty on a shingle and then only guarantee his work for half that or less? Workmanship is the most important part. JR & Company's workmanship warranty, lifetime.
JR's there for you. You're always better with a roof from JR.
That's right. JR & Company offers a lifetime workmanship warranty on every residential roof we install. And it's even transferable if you sell your home. How do we offer a lifetime warranty? Our roofers are that good. It kind of makes you wonder about the other guys. From our free online storm damage check to our lifetime workmanship warranty, no one protects you and your home like JR & Company.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Get your free storm check online at jrstormcheck.com.
Missouri, get ready. Circus Sports is giving you the chance to win owner Derek Stevens' wallet. From February 3rd to March 15th, you can take home your share of $250,000 in cash. Simply wager $100 and earn one share, wager $1,000 to earn two shares, wager $5,000 for a third share. Bet on anything from pro sports to college, straight bets to futures. Don't miss your chance to cash in and take home your share of Derek's wallet. Visit circusports.com for details. Must be 21 and older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I hope you are sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower cost than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
At Busey, banking is about more than numbers. It's about relationships. For over 150 years, we've been helping individuals, families, and businesses reach their goals with personalized service and local decision-making. Whether you're opening your first account or planning your next big move, we're here with the tools and support to help you move forward with confidence. Busey Bank, your partner for life's moments, both big and small. Member FDIC.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $59.99 guaranteed. That's right. Don't just cut back. Stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight you want. Only $59.99 guaranteed with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and lose the weight. Weight Loss Hypnosis, Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Sure Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, I'm
I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Hola, amigos! Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night, starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. What's trending is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Keeping an eye on the SEC and Big 12 tournament. 4:40 to go in the SEC tournament. It is Kentucky with a 67, now 63 lead. Big three-pointer from Mark Mitchell for the Tigers to get down to 4. He's got, this flashed up the screen, 26 I just saw? Mark Mitchell having a nice day. But 4.5 minutes to go. The Missouri Tigers trying to push back here. They were down as many as 12 or 14 at one point this half, but they are firmly in it. With 4 to go, they just got a key rebound as well. We'll keep an eye on that. Big 12 tournament, Iowa State has opened up a big lead on Texas Tech. Sure looks like for the Kansas City economy, good news. The game has gone final. Iowa State fans going to be hanging around all weekend because Iowa State beat Tech 75-53. They move on to take on the winner of UCF Arizona, which will tip off in about 30 minutes. Later on tonight, BYU Houston at 6. The late game, TCU and the Kansas Jayhawks.
And, of course, the big upset that in college basketball today, that Miami of Ohio.
First loss.
Losing in the quarterfinal round to UMass, Frank Martin's UMass squad.
Yeah.
Having an impact on the tournament as well. Next up on What's Trending, the Chiefs have made a signing at defensive back. Kader Kohu has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. The former Miami Dolphin was originally an undrafted kid out of Texas A&M. He has signed a new contract with Kansas City to play corner. I think this is like the Joshua Williams replacement. I saw a couple of national people say it's a good risk guy. Played well, started 38 games for him over 3 years. So it was pretty much a full-time starter until an ACL tear sidelined him last year. So a bit of a risk, but just another guy as a depth piece in the defensive backfield.
Elsewhere on What's Trending, WBC, we talked earlier about Vinny Pasquantino in Italy helping out the U.S. yesterday. Vinny had 3 home runs. The U.S. will get set to take on Canada tomorrow. So once again, we get USA-Canada, and this time it's not hockey, it's baseball in the World Baseball Classic. Puerto Rico will take on Italy, I think, on Saturday. So that'll be Seth Lugo going up against Cags and Vinny. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch tomorrow and Saturday.
Stephen A. had something to say about Vinny. I guess we'll hear it here in just a minute.
Yeah, well, here it is. I mean, we all know that Vinny afterwards was joking about, "You're welcome, USA. You're welcome, America." And then Stephen A. was talking about it.
He's from Richmond, Virginia. The nerve. He's from Richmond, Virginia. That's betrayal right there. And I hope Team USA was watching, and I hope you're looking forward to it. You got to handle your business. And this dude talking smack from Richmond, Virginia. I know you got Italian heritage and all of that. You from Richmond, Virginia, bro. I mean, to talk about Team USA, Pasquantino. I mean, to talk about us like that, we got to get him.
I don't think he's hating. He's just having fun with it. Some people were mad at Stephen A. You can tell he's joking. That's just he's just having fun. And by the way, it's weird because Vinny Pasquantino's a Major League Baseball player. He's one of the best in the world at what he does for a living. It is still, I don't know, it's still pretty crazy to think Stephen A. Smith is out here talking about Vinny Pasquantino.
I think we're going to have to update our intro for Vinny now with
that Pasquantino.
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. If he comes back as our NFL insider for another season, Damn straight he's getting a new intro. Next up on What's Trending, former Chief Orlando Brown Jr. has signed a 1 or 2 year extension to pay. A look at it. He had 1 year left on his deal. He'll be back next season as well for Cincinnati. He played fine at left tackle. A lot of like how he played in Kansas City. He's a perfectly acceptable left tackle. Or tackle in general. He's not the world's best, but he'll stay another year there in Cincinnati.
That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Did you want to get to a couple more of these texts? People are mad at you for some reason. I don't know why.
What did I say?
I don't know. What did you say? That's a great response. What did I say? Someone said they're snitching on CDOT. He's been watching the MU game, leaving Rob to prepare for the show alone. He's also going to be in a bad mood if Missouri loses. I just went to a commercial break. I think it's a 2-point game. I think it went to break as a 2-point game. The screen, I did not look.
Getting down to it.
Yeah, getting really interesting.
Worse than that, I'll snitch on Carrington now. I'm not even sure he's watching the Missouri game.
He is sitting right here in the studio
recording
next
something.
to me.
He's talking to. Can I spoil it? He's talking to James Palmer.
Yeah.
For their show.
I wonder if he has.
Does he even? He likes Kansas more than he likes Missouri. It's
We've
established.
known this for a while.
He's watched Kansas basketball.
Yeah,
twice as much this year as he's watched Missouri basketball.
He goes to Lawrence all the time.
In fairness, if you like good basketball, which I think Carrington does, because he'll go to the high schools and stuff. He enjoys watching Kansas. I think he watches Kansas more because he enjoys watching their basketball.
When was the last time you went to a high school basketball game? High school is my answer.
Well, for me, when I worked in Boise, maybe. Yeah, probably when I worked in Boise, Idaho. Yeah,
this is a huge game for Missouri.
69, 68, 2:50 to go.
Mark Mitchell has 30.
Yeah,
he's hit 2 threes in the last couple of minutes just to keep dragging him back into this thing. Again, they've trailed the entire game. They were down by 9.5. They were down as much as 14. I mean, they've been really outscored much of the second half until this late run. So we'll see what happens with the Missouri Tigers over the next 2.5.
Get yourself a win, then you don't have to even worry about anything. I think it means you can get out of Dayton, Ohio as well. It's a huge opportunity in the final 251 for Mizzou.
They have been helped, though, because, we can look at the bracketology obviously more on Monday or tomorrow, even if we want. But, let's just be real here. The rest of the bubble
it's helped them out.
Has just been doing Missouri.
I mean, here's the
an absolute kindness.
You just saw on the screen. I mean, Lenardi's latest last 4 in. Missouri's not even listed last 4 in anymore, meaning he has them safe before the result of this game because of what has happened with all these other games, as you pointed out. And if you win this, then you're talking about really improving your seed. Missouri just took the lead for the first time.
They definitely skip out on Dayton if they win this game, for sure.
Absolutely.
If they lose, it's a conversation, but if they win, then...
Oh, yeah. If they win, they're not playing Tuesday or Wednesday. They're waiting until Thursday or Friday. It's a 70-69 Mizzou lead. Big-time turnaround in this game. We'll see if they can close it out.
I did think it was interesting when we had Gabe on, too, that he said he thinks this is Dennis Gabe. A lot of coaches, even around the league, think that this is his most impressive coaching job, taking this team and being, even though the league's not as good and all that other stuff, keeping them competitive as they are, not just making the tournament, but potentially even avoiding the first 4.
I mean, in fairness, as we've pointed out, Missouri's basketball program is a lot like how I view most basketball programs, which is you should be in the tournament. You play in the SEC. You should be in the tournament at least 60% of the time. And once every 10 years, you should find yourself at least in the Sweet 16, maybe the Elite 8. Other than that, it'll be okay. And look, under Konzo Martin and Kim Anderson, it had been a while. In the Frank Haith days.
Oh, boy.
And the Quinn Snyder. But they went to the tournament at least 2 of the 3 years. Hell, they went to the tournament 3 years in a row under Mike Anderson, whether you like it or not, before those guys were eventually gone.
I think
it had been 15 years since they were like a regular tournament team. This would be 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And 3 out of 4.
Drew can double check. I think Frank Haith is an assistant at Stephen F. Austin now. I believe it might be that or somewhere like that. I think that's where he's at.
I didn't even realize Frank Martin was still coaching.
He's at UMass. Yeah. 2 minutes to go. Missouri down 71-70. They got the ball, though.
Drew, have you been? The text line's asking. You been in Lawrence yet for a game?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Have you been to Columbia for a game?
Next year, you got to go to Allen Fieldhouse.
Have you been to Columbia, Manhattan, or for football or basketball?
For a basketball game, no. I went to Manhattan for a football game.
Yeah, you got to go to the
I have not been to. I'm excited to go this year since almost the full stadium will be ready for the most part. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to going to a KU game. I have not been to Como. Was going to go last year, didn't work out. I was going to go to the South Carolina Mizzou game, but it didn't work out. I need to go to Allen for a game though.
That's just one of those things. You're going to live this close to one of the most historic college basketball venues. Why not? You know?
Minute 10 to go. Kentucky up 73-70. They just got a 2-point bucket at the rim. So final minute to go.
This feels a little bit like a warm-up for us next week, where I know you and I end up finding a bet that we can bet together.
Yeah.
Sweating some first half under.
Yeah.
Sweating someone's rebound.
What do you think the live line is now?
Second.
Mizzou just called a timeout with 106 to go. They've got the basketball, obviously.
Plus 3.5.
Down 3.
I was going to guess plus 2.5.
Yeah, based off of the number, it's probably right there, yeah.
It's somewhere between there. Between 2.5 and 3.5.
Mizzou plus 3.5 is minus 158. They're plus 350 on the money line to come back and win. Kentucky's minus 520 to do that. If you're wondering just other spreads for later on, I guess later on tonight at the Big 12 tournament, the first game, Houston and BYU. What's the line on that one? Houston minus 9.5. Remember, BYU's already played 2 games in this tournament too, so you got to worry about their legs in the second half. And then Kansas minus 5.5 against TCU tonight. We all know how close that one was earlier.
That was a really good game.
Yeah.
TCU fans, that was some Allen magic for sure.
Oh, it was
the way they came back and won that game.
The final 2 minutes or whatever it was were insane.
Yeah, Darren hit that great shot. Did the big time 3.
Where someone said Frank Haith's an assistant on an SEC school. Is that right? Okay.
I don't know.
I looked up Frank Haith. I think I spelled his last name wrong, and it didn't come
Okay, he's an assistant at A&M, so the text was correct. There you go.
Who's the head coach at A&M now? It's not Buzz Williams.
Oh my gosh,
because Buzz Williams is American.
The Bucky Ball, McMillan, Bucky. The
Bucky McMillan. That's it.
Yeah.
You said them all together, just not together.
That guy.
You said Bucky. McMillan. Wait, Bucky Ball. Bucky McMillan. Yes,
Bucky
that's
Ball.
correct.
Yeah, that's the guy.
College Station seems like an absolutely miserable place to be.
Actually,
really,
as a town, yeah.
So I've been there for a football game. I admittedly I did not hang out in College Station. For a football game, the atmosphere was incredible. The press box shakes. It's
got
very
to be
cool.
one of the best in college.
It's very cool. Now, do I think
I mean, as a town, Drew,
do I think their whole what do you want, a cult thing they got going on there is weird? Yes,
that is odd.
It's a little Handmaid's Tale. They're all walking in robes, chanting stuff under their breath. Makes me a little uncomfortable.
It's an incredible atmosphere, though. I will give them that. Kyle Field is very cool. Drew would love Kyle Field. It is. Have you been? Yep.
I've not been to Kyle Field. That might be.
It is phenomenal. All right, they're out of the timeout, by the way, in Nashville. Again, Missouri down 3. They just committed a turnover. It's going back to Kentucky, although we might get a review. We'll see. I'm not sure if Gates has a challenge left. They were talking to him, but I don't think he's going to. We'll get a replay. But Kentucky looks like they're going to have the ball up 3 under a minute to go. That's off Mizzou.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That is tough.
That's definitely off Mizzou.
Dribbled it off his own thigh.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
great.
a bad time. Bad time for
This
a
is the
turnover.
exact same thing that happened in this Arkansas game. They got it to overtime, fought, and then they just played sloppy in the final couple of minutes, you know, where you just can't hit that shot, can't have that big moment, can't make sure things are, clean enough to do that. What's going to matter come tournament time, obviously. But again, because of everybody
They're going to be in the field.
Because of everyone in the bubble, absolutely,
I think they'll be in.
Falling apart. I understand that they'll be part of the ESPN broadcasting on Sunday before they put out the bracket to be is Missouri in?
Boy,
and they'll
that's
take a look at their net ranking and all that
That's
stuff.
a hell of a bucket from Kentucky. Timeout Mizzou. Kentucky's now up 5 with 22 and a half seconds to go.
That's over.
I wouldn't say over yet. I would say over. Most likely Mizzou will not win, but it's not over. 22 seconds. They go down there and get a quick 2 or a 3, and then they can play the foul game a little bit. We'll see. I would say you are probably correct that Kentucky's going to end up winning, but
are you, Drew? I guess are you pro Elam ending? I just hate the way all basketball games end.
Yeah, I think because it turns into.
Can you? By the way, sorry to interrupt. While we're talking, can you just so it's ready for the final possession? If we get that, can you have that feed ready if we want to take it for the final 20 seconds?
I imagine we should be able to get it. Seeing how Odyssey are.
I mean, we can take the radio call from our sister station.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If we need to. I mean, the TV is one thing, but we can also, if you want to pot up the feed of the actual Mizzou broadcast for a second, we can too. Whatever works for you. I just think for the final 20 seconds, why not? Let's get like you said, prime for the tournament next week.
It's a little loosening us up. Yeah, before we cut to a game, before a game-winning shot, You cut in the lead, you do all that work, and then you fall apart. A shame. Do you make anything of this cornerback signing for the Chiefs?
I think it sounds like what they did, a low risk.
Feels
but
like Taekwondo.
There's a chance that if this guy can stay healthy, they might actually have gotten a very nice deal for a player, but he's got an injury history. Is there something still there for him?
He was healthy until he got hurt. He was healthy until he suffered a normal, I would say, major injury for any NFL player, and he was available for dirt cheap. I like the upside of it. I mean, pretty much a 3-year starter, or at least a part-time starter. You need guys like that in your secondary, kind of like the way you need backup defensive linemen where they can move around a little bit. And I need them to have enough corners that they don't get tempted anymore, Gold, more than anything, to not play Shamari Connor in the slot. I need Connor playing less and less and less corner than we've had over the course of that time. Because I think they fell into that trap last year where they didn't, at times, even though they had good corners, they used to use him occasionally to try to get like Trent McDuffie to the outside, and I don't think he can cover. I don't think he can cover that way frequently.
You always need depth at that position anyway, because somebody's going to get hurt in training camp. Somebody's going to get hurt and be out for 1 week with a hamstring injury, and you need to have somebody with experience, which this guy does. I'll admit, again, I did not know his name until 45 minutes ago, so I'm not going to try to act like we suddenly are experts on him. It feels like a nice signing that not very risky. He's going to provide some depth, but because of the experience, you kind of like that aspect. And Dave Merritt and Spags, as you were saying, Cody, you trust them to be able to maybe coach them up. Do we have that, Drew? Do we have the feed ready to roll if we head out to the SEC tournament? Okay. All right.
Now
so
they're pushing each other around, so who the hell knows?
There's a little shoving. There's a review going on. It's 75-70 Kentucky. A player for Kentucky just fouled out of the game. Two guys got technical
Two guys got
fouls.
text, and it counts as a foul, I think, in college. And they both got it.
We'll let them sort that out. And if we're still on the air before we hand things off to CDOT, we'll carry the final 22 and a half seconds of the game. It looks like Kentucky's on their way to a victory against Missouri in the second round of the SEC tournament. And Lenardi has Missouri. He's on with them right now. He's last bye. So in the field, last team to avoid Dayton is what he has Missouri right now. And that's why a loss could still send them to Dayton, Ohio. That's basically the consequence. If they actually lose, the consequence would be that.
Yep.
College basketball has more just like sitting around watching.
Oh, the reviews are terrible.
43-year-old dudes hunched over a table.
Yeah, that's the part of it. Is I think also
put a timer on it.
How long it takes. Like you don't need to spend 3 minutes there. Take your give yourself some minute. These are all the angles. This is a decision, and we're done.
I think it's 60 seconds. If you can't decide in 60 seconds to change the call stands. I don't understand why this is that complicated. Why isn't college basketball moved off of this already? It's the amount of time I got to wait. We have been sitting here for 5 minutes and nothing has happened in this basketball game.
All right,
there's only 22 seconds left to play.
75-70 Kentucky. Mizzou about to inbound. 22.5 seconds to go. Let's go out to Nashville.
His players. Missouri inbounds down 5, 22 to go. Barrett one-on-one with Aberdeen. Baseline, reverse, he missed it, and Oweh grabbed the rebound.
All right, well, that's going to be it.
That's it.
That we don't need to carry anymore. I know. I only wanted it if they were about to make it a one-possession game. They didn't. 75-70. Missouri is probably going to lose this game.
Oh, he was right there. That's just a shot you have to make if you're Barrett.
Yeah. Nice move. Had the reverse, had the angle.
They'll have fresh legs for the NCAA tournament.
Actually,
they will. And again, their big sweat should be whether or not they're playing in Dayton or not.
The teams, because like New Mexico, San Diego State, VCU, they do not want to win the A10 because then SLU could, they steal a bit, and then SLU is going to be the debate, I think, as well. So there's a few teams that still could potentially make some noise and stuff, but I think they're in.
Oh, I think
just given what happened with,
I will be shocked
Texas,
if they don't make the tournament.
Cal and Stanford.
I don't think you should be shocked though if they end up playing though in the first four.
Yeah,
that's all.
That is the sweat out now.
If you were wondering, Kentucky made one of the free throws. Mizzou just missed a three. It's 76-70, 4.5 seconds to go. So that one is wrapping up.
What do you expect out of Kansas tonight?
Look, I think.
Do you think they'll get the win against TCU?
I think they'll beat TCU. The question is, can they put two wins together? I think they win tonight. They're going to have basically a home court advantage tonight at T-Mobile Center. They have had a couple days off. They should be fresh. I think they win tonight behind some of the energy they'll get from that building, and they won't be flat. It's can they stack them? Can they win on Friday when the competition also is probably Houston, and BYU's a big underdog tonight against Houston. So most likely you're getting KU Houston tomorrow night. But with this KU team, we know they can play up and down to their competition. So will I be stunned if I'm on the show tomorrow talking to you about KU losing? No, I think they win. But nobody should be shocked if they were to get upset tonight.
No, but it'd be the same thing as like Missouri, I'd say right now, which is don't play